Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Happy Saturday, Miss Mary. Miss Mary 305. Hey, Miss Natasha. Everybody say, hey, Miss Mary. Good evening. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of SWAC Saturday with She Loves Thee. Good evening, Ladarius. Hey, Tony. Thetis. Hey, Katie. You went ahead and got it out the gate. Tiger fans, Timona and Mr. Ford. We're gonna see if Mr. Ford shows up tonight with some of that Cascade Road tea. I feel like I should do a disclaimer before we start. I feel like I should do a disclaimer. Maybe not. What do you guys think? You think a disclaimer is needed for this particular show? Theater's done already started. Miss Mary, don't you weep. It's going to be all right. Sipping on my Crown Blackberry mixed with lemonade. Ooh, that sounds good. What y'all sipping on tonight? What are y'all sipping on tonight? Go ahead and get it out the way. Okay. Oh.
Hi.
Oh. He sat. He already knows what's up. Might as well make yourself known. Say hey, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Braxton don't have a segment today because he wasn't practicing. You want to do your scripture?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put on the full armor of God so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. Ephesians 6:13.
Ooh, Braxton, I think that scripture probably helped a lot of people. Can you repeat that scripture? Come over here and look into the camera and repeat.
Ephesians 6:13. Put on the full armor of God so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. Ephesians 6:13.
Good job, Braxton. That was Braxton's scripture of the week. You have anything else you want to say? Because we about to get it popping. I guess not. Moving. Okay. Okay. Amen. Can I get an amen in the chat? Can I get an amen in the chat? You know what? That scripture right there. Very timely. Yes. Very timely. That was his scripture for the week that he has at school. He gets a scripture every week. And he gets his sight words for the week. And he has to, every Friday, sometimes on Thursday, he has to recite it to his teacher for a grade. So, So, of course, every show, I open up with non-SWAC related stuff just to open up the show. And then after that, we can just talk about whatever. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about, this is just in the news and it happened, is Nottoway Plantation in Louisiana burnt to the ground. Fetus, you can still drink. You can still have a drink now. Oh, goodness gracious. All right. This is a visual of Nottoway Plantation burning to the ground, y'all. Yes, the ancestors are pleased, and it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. So I'm going to just read a little bit about the Nottoway Plantation because a lot of people, I've never actually heard of this particular plantation, and I do know that they have several plantations all over the South, but this one is a lot more controversial. And the reason why that is because Nottoway Plantation was actually turned into a resort. And it's a plantation home in the United States. It's in White Castle, Louisiana, along the Mississippi River. It was built allegedly in 1859. I doubt that. I doubt it was built in 1859. Probably built maybe the upgrades and stuff took place in 1859, but I doubt that it was built at that time because, okay. The founder was John Hamden Randolph. He's a wealthy sugar planter. Originally, it was over 7,000 acres. 7,000 acres with only 155 enslaved people. Okay. The mansion itself was over 53,000 square feet, making it the largest antebellum plantation house still standing in the South. So he built it as a symbol of wealth, status, and dominance. He used forced labor of enslaved African people to build and operate the plantation. And it produced sugarcane. That's one of the most brutal forms of plantation labor. The mansion had 64 rooms, including a grand white ballroom, parlors, advanced technology like gas lighting, and an indoor bathroom. The property was intended to showcase refinement and power, but it was built on the backs of enslaved Black people whose suffering made the luxury possible. This is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Let me see if I could find some more pictures of it. I have some more pictures of it, but I'm going to continue reading a little bit more about it. And then I'm going to show you some more pictures of it being completely destroyed because, that's what it deserves, to be destroyed, not placed as a place for weddings to take place. So after the war, Randolph struggled financially. The plantation system was never the same without slavery. So over time, the estate was preserved and turned into a museum resort. And basically, they were offering a Gone with the Wind style nostalgia tour. They really didn't talk that much about slavery. It was one of the venues used by Louisiana's former First Lady for events. Wow. And also, like, one of the biggest things that I found disgusting was that they would have weddings there. And I was reading a lady's account of visiting Nottoway Plantation, and she said that they literally just, grazed over the fact that it was a place where slavery took place. Yes. Isn't the White House a plantation home? Oh, What are you suggesting, JB? I've never heard of that. Like, why would that be something that you would want to do? So this is just some funnies that they have going on. It says we take nothing serious, which yes, that's true. For those of you that have seen Sinners, that's the young man singing. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Hey, Dr. Brielle. Thank you. Oh, Lord. Okay, you're going to stand in for Wit. That's what's up. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I don't know how to make that stop making. I don't know how that noise is going. Sorry, y'all. Got too many things open. It was built by slaves and slaves worked there. I mean, we don't want to burn the White House down now, JB. That's a little bit, you know who I think will burn the White House down before Black people? White folks. Slavery isn't acknowledged by the current owners of most of the plantations. Very sickening. Yes, disgusting. Very disgusting. But the ancestors are pleased with that being burnt to the ground. I thought it was interesting how they said that they don't even talk about slavery. They talk about it more like they were indentured servants or something. So I got one more thing to discuss before we get into the SWAC news or, HBCU news. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. This is coming up soon. I want to announce this. I'll try to announce it a couple more times. Yeah, January 6th. I feel like those folks will burn down the White House before we ever get close to it. So this is just a reminder that at noon on Wednesday, May 28th, Ivory Phillips, contributing editor at the Jackson Advocate, will examine the Ayers versus Waller case that centered on the disparities in funding and resources between historically white and historically Black public colleges and universities. The program will take place in the Craig H. Nielsen Auditorium of the two Mississippi museums and will also stream live on the MDAH Facebook page and YouTube channel. Copies of the Ayers versus Waller case, The Promise and the Disappointment, will be available for sale with a signing to follow. So this will take place in 2 Wednesdays. So I'll continue to talk about it. I'll continue to announce that. What are you doing? I know that's not a fruit snack. Are you eating fruit snacks? You going to bed early. When I be having a live, Braxton be sneaking a little sneaky stuff. Okay. You have anything you want to say? Yes, Mr. Carey, we're getting into it right now. Let me go ahead and get into it. Braxton, sweetie.
Yeah.
You're going to have to quit leaning all on me. Yeah, he's returning. He's over here just eating on those fruit snacks that I could see you, right? You know that I could see you. All right. So let's get into this baseball. Well, first of all, let me acknowledge Jackson State baseball. Let's acknowledge them first because above all, I don't know if Ladarius is in here, but above all, Jackson State whooped up on Southern 2 times in a row. 2 times in a row. 2 times in a row. So I want to definitely acknowledge that. The only reason why we didn't whoop up on you today is because it rained. That's why we weren't able to do that. So the Jackson State Tigers shut Sudden out 8-0. Y'all couldn't, dang, did you even try to pinch us? You know you going to bed early, right? You won't go to bed. Put you right to bed. Yeah. So they were supposed to play today, but unfortunately, well, fortunately for Southern, right? Because I'm pretty sure y'all are tired of losing. So the first game was really, really close, 7-8. I want to say that took place on Thursday night because that's when I had a live. And you know, Ladarius, you are going to be Southern. A&T, okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Yes, it would have been 3 for had it not been an act of God. Ladarius is not claiming Southern anymore. You over here with A&T. Well, congratulations to North Carolina A&T. They did clinch a CAA title. I want to say men's track and field. So before we congratulate, we get into Bethune because we're going to deep dive into Bethune because the baseball tournament is coming up. The baseball tournament is coming up. So this is in honor of, I guess, the men's team were champions for the CAA tournament. You know what? They actually did the CAA championship. I want to say they did that in Greensboro. That's where the championships were held. And they came out with a win. No buys for regular season. Okay, y'all don't care nothing about A&T. I forgot how y'all roll. I guess they said if you ain't gonna take your butt back to the MEAC, we're not studying y'all. Okay, so I want to say Braxton's bringing out all this other stuff, but we're gonna have to say congratulations to.
Congratulations! Oh.
You want to say congratulations? You want to say congratulations?
Congratulations! The Wildcats. Let's go. JSU.
So congratulations to Bethune-Cookman. I believe this is their first time clinching a SWAC title, a SWAC championship since joining the SWAC. They clinched the regular season. So congratulations to Mary's children. Hail Wildcats. Okay, let's see what this seeding is looking like. So the Southwestern Athletic Conference has announced its 2025 SWAC baseball tournament seedings featuring the league's top 8 teams at the conclusion of regular season play. 2025 SWAC regular season champion Bethune-Cookman enters the tournament as the #1 seed with a 24-5 SWAC finish. Florida A&M claimed the #2 seed with a 24-6 SWAC, while Alabama State claimed the #3 seed with a 21-9 SWAC in the tournament, followed by #4 seed, Jackson State, #4 seed Arkansas Pine Bluff 17-9 SWAC. Grambling is the 5th seed with 18-11, followed by #6 seed Jackson State 16-12 SWAC. Southern 15-3. That can't be right. I think they meant 15-13 SWAC. Right? Yeah, 15-13 SWAC, I think. It says 15-3. I think it should be 15-13. Texas Southern 15-15 SWAC claimed the final 2 tournament bids and will enter the tournament as the #7 and 8 seed, respectfully. SWAC baseball tournament is scheduled to be played on May 21st through the 25th at Rickwood Field, located in Birmingham, Alabama. The complete tournament bracket can be found at the link above. Please click to purchase tickets for the event. All right, so game #1. Wait a minute. Why is the #1 seed playing at 9 o'clock in the morning? All right. #1 Bethune-Cookman is playing #8 Texas Southern. #2 Florida A&M is playing #7 Southern. #3 Alabama State versus #6 Jackson State, and #4 Arkansas Pine Bluff versus #5 Grambling State. That's this coming Wednesday. I'm wondering if they're going to be streaming it like they do the other ones, like they did for the women's softball tournament. And then, of course, you can click on the tournament bracket. Bethune-Cookman got to play early. I would have gave them the 12 o'clock slot. Tired of playing them bumblebees. Did JSU make it to the tournament? Ladarius, we whooped you enough times to get in there. You snuck in there. Snuck right on in there. It's a good thing you didn't play today. UAPB beat out Grambling for a higher seed. Yes, I hope that the SWAC Digital Network will be streaming. I'm not sure if they have the same setup that they had in Gulfport. They had a really, really, really good setup for the softball. I'm talking about replay and everything. It was really nice. So what's the next topic, y'all? Drop it in the chat. What we gonna talk about next? Where is Mr. Ford? Let me drop this for Mr. Ford. Mr. Ford, we're ready to hear from you. Georgia Tech was nice last year. Oh yeah, Georgia Tech was nice too. The one in Atlanta, that was good too. So next Wednesday. So everybody's here for the mess. Well, you know I got that on lock. You know we're gonna get there. Everybody's here for the mess. Might as well get started. No, Jay, you don't just go right into the mess. You gotta, weed your way in there. Don't just drop that in, folks. Y'all messy. So, I don't know why y'all want to be messy like that. Listen, if this is why y'all came here, If this is why y'all came here, stop. Okay? We gonna talk about it, but dang. Y'all could at least act like y'all are interested in the sports. At least act like y'all interested. Oh yeah, let's talk about that. Right. They asking for everything to just go ahead and just let it on out. Dang, y'all. If that's listen, we gonna get to this, okay? We are going to get to it. The same way that we got to it when it was our president a couple weeks ago. We gonna get to it. Dang. Hey, don't do that. Braxton, come pray for us.
Lord, we love you and we thank you for these days and all that you gave us. We thank you for our food and we thank you for that you created us all and we thank you for this day. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. Lord have mercy, y'all folks. If you're a whiskey drinker, drop a drink emoji in the chat.
I ain't never had whiskey, but I'll be down to try it.
You hey Jay. You said you ain't never had the whiskey before, but you'll be down to try it. I want to say, isn't that what's in the
Wait,
old,
hold on.
isn't an old does an
Your
old
audio went
fashioned
out.
have whiskey?
Hold on, wait a minute. Let me see something real quick.
Does an old fashioned have whiskey in it?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? If y'all can hear me in the chat, drop a drink emoji.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Well, for some reason I can't. Let me come out and come back in because I don't.
How many of y'all drink whiskey?
Dr. Strange.
All right. Sorry, y'all. I got Marvel, Spider-Man, or whatever, Iron Man.
Strange.
Oh, he's Doctor Strange right now. All right. So if you like whiskey, or if your significant other, the person that you are dating, or your daddy or your brother, if you like to drink whiskey, or maybe it's just a collector's item, starting, well, I think they're taking pre-orders right now, but starting in June, they'll be sending out this limited edition Greenwood whiskey. And it's in collaboration with Greenwood Whiskey. It's like a collaboration that they have going on.
Mic check 1 2.
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you now.
All right. Premium whiskey handcrafted collection. Greenwood Whiskey pays homage to one of the most significant and historically rich African American neighborhoods in the United States, the historic Greenwood District, aka Black Wall Street, located in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Our spirit celebrates the early 20th century community known for its thriving businesses, cultural richness, and strong sense of community. Our award-winning whiskey brand consists of Greenwood Rye Whiskey, Greenwood Celebration Caramel Whiskey, and Special Edition Greenwood 1906. Some of our notable mentions include the 2024 New Orleans Spirits Competition, 2023 LA Spirits Awards, and the 2023 San Diego Spirits Festival Competition. Featured in Forbes and Black Enterprise, and as seen on Fox 5 Atlanta News and 11 Alive News Atlanta and Company. At Greenwood Whiskey, we blend tradition and innovation to create a truly exceptional spirit, crafted from the finest ingredients and aged to perfection. So Yes, this is Greenwood whiskey. And they have a limited edition bottle that you can order.
Pre-sale coming soon.
Pre-sale is coming soon. I think it's going to be like around $49, $50. Yeah, you can get one just for display. Most of all, this is an initiative with the KC 1400 Collective. So you're going to be getting a whiskey, and you're going to be able to support the collective. So definitely a great innovative way. Tell Double XL to call me. I'll do a collaboration with Double XL. Collective bottle, $49.99 plus shipping. Display. He said that's good as drunk. I don't drink whiskey. You can do it for display or you can drink it. Is this how do you make an old fashioned? Let me see. I don't really know that much about that type of drink because it's doesn't taste good to me. Yeah, an old fashioned. An old fashioned recipe is a delicious whiskey cocktail. Johnny Walker old fashioned. Well, you can have a Greenwood whiskey old fashioned. Okay, Jay.
Yes.
Are you ready for the smoke? I'm not too demure for whiskey. It just doesn't taste good. If it tasted good, I would drink it.
Yeah, I ain't never had whiskey before, but I'll be down to try it. They said it got a
So,
smooth taste, so maybe, yeah.
all right. So this segment, we have to get a name for this segment. What do you guys think? For a million up front?
But for 20% off.
No, it has to be the same initials as FAMU. We getting ready to get into some hard talk, y'all. But I'm sorry, we're gonna have to discuss it. For a million up front. What else we got? You got any, nephew?
Finessed and marked up?
What?
Finessed and
Finesse
marked up?
and marked up. Finessed and marked up. Finessed and marked up. How about funds are my ultimatum?
That's not too
Funds
bad.
are my ultimatum. And you know what? We aren't actually talking about FAMU. We are talking about those board members with FAMU degrees that voted for Make America Great Again, Marva. We're not talking about FAMU. We're talking about the board members.
Or how about financially acquired, morally unavailable?
I can't type all that. Someone said Florida Agricultural and Make America Great Again University. Lord. So for a funky $40. Wait a minute.
Not $40.
For all Marva's use? Fully acquired by Marva Unlimited? Following all Marva's ultimatums. Damn. That's it.
Damn, y'all little ruthless with this. Wait a minute.
Following all of Marva's ultimatums. That's it. That's it right there. That's it. That's it. Following all Marva's ultimatums. So I'm getting ready to pull up these board members, and we're just going to talk about it a little bit. And then we're going to move on. Lord have mercy. Pull up her picture again.
Ed. No.
I'm not pulling up the actual picture. That one's kind of scary.
Yeah, that's a little jump scare. Let's not pull that one up.
That one is scary. Funds under Make America Great Again, unfortunately. Lord. All right. So the reason why I wanted to discuss it, I haven't really been following it like that to a T to break it down each time they had a board meeting, but I did pay attention to the vote that took place, and I did tune into the fallout that has happened in the last 24 hours. And I thought, well, let me go see, who are these board members and how did they vote? Right? Because it's not making sense to me. I was sure that the Board of Trustees, the ones that were responsible for giving Coach Query a 1-year deal, very active in the football head coach search, very, very involved in the AD being fired and the AD being hired. Like, surely they have the power to pick and choose who they want as president. Like, there's no way that those people who've been yielding so much power over the last year are going to let someone come in and take their university. And
Right.
unfortunately, I was wrong. I was wrong. So this is my premise, and we're going to go over it. And then y'all tell me what you think. Turn that off. So I said everyone needs to go to the Board of Trustees website and read the bios. 6 of the trustees have a degree from FAMU, 1 from Tuskegee, Texas Southern. This is not the same as IHL. With that many HBCU grads in the room voting and an 8-4 vote, why vote against your alma mater? Because I've seen a lot of folks saying, oh, the same thing happened. Now they're saying it. A couple weeks ago, they was laughing, but they were just saying like, oh, the same thing that happened to you guys, it happened to us. And I'm like, no, this is not the same. This is not the same. IHL's Board of Trustees and the FAMU Board of Trustees are two totally different structures, and it's made up differently. And I'm just surprised because I don't see no smoke for the Board of Trustees members. The only thing I hear people saying is that they were forced to do it. You're not forced to do anything. If you lose your place as a member on the trustees board, but you are able to save your university for probably decades to come, isn't that more important?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you have the ability to. All right. So this is the chair, Kristen Harper. Some of you might recognize her face because she was in the 237 scandal, in the sense that she was in some of the pictures, but she said, I didn't know nothing about it. I just was taking a picture and doing a photo op. I didn't have anything to do with that. So anyway, she survived that situation. So she was the chair, or she is the chair for now, of the Board of Trustees. And just a little bit about, I'm going to really just hone in on whether or not they graduated from FAMU or not, and then how they voted. So Kristen received her bachelor's and master's of business administration degrees from Florida A&M University. She has an executive education from Harvard University. So during college, she was the first female student government president in nearly a decade, and she now serves as an appointed member of the FAMU Board of Trustees. So Mrs. Harper, she voted for Palm. She did not vote for Marva. And statements like this are kind of like delusional. And the reason why I say they're delusional is because Marva is not, she is not a basketball coach or a football coach. She can literally wipe out, give you that same template that you handed some folks to sign to say that you were resigning. She can hand everybody in the administration that same template and wipe out from top to bottom and place people that have no HBCU experience or anything of this, or no experience at all in higher education. Like some of this stuff that the folks are saying, it's not like that. You guys are, I mean, if it was that easy, then you wouldn't have voted her in the first place, right? If you had that much pull and you had that much power, she would have never gotten voted in the first place, especially when you have this many FAMU alums on the board. And I mean, I'm just saying. So that's one, but she voted against Marva. All right, Dr. Jamal Brown. He serves as Florida A&M University's Faculty Senate President. The Faculty Senate President, the Associate Professor, meaning he's a current professor of pharmacy practice at the College of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences. And he's a Tallahassee native. He's a FAMU alum, a graduate of the FAMU College of Pharmacy. The FAMU's pharmacy school just lost millions and millions of dollars. This is a current professor at your school. He has a FAMU degree. And he voted for Marva. He's the Faculty Senate President. And he voted for Marva. Too soon from Rattlers to Red Hats. Oh, Lord. So this is the thing. Like, this is not like, yes, you can say F DeSantis, we should have never voted him in, blah, blah, blah. But you guys aren't placing the blame on the folks that were in that room. This person actually works at FAMU. And they literally just lost funding. Let me look that up. FAMU pharmacy losing funding. I want to say they took millions of dollars from FAMU. And he voted for Marva. That's terrible. Trump funding cuts hit FAMU Pharmacy School with $16.3 million grant loss. It was terminated amid the latest string of federal funding cuts. So, hopefully, Make America Great Again, Marva will be able to utilize her power to get money back, right? She's a Make America Great Again. They want her to be successful, so maybe she's going to be able to get the money back. And that's why it's kind of like we're past the you guys are so upset, let's get her out of there. Like, we're past that, because the amount of damage that she can do to the university far exceeds all these little backdoor, let's get together and get her up out of here. Like, if you guys were going to get somebody up out of there, it should have been that day in the boardroom. So that's two FAMU alums. John Crossman, I don't think anybody was surprised that he would vote for Marva. One thing about John Crossman is he's also on the Bethune-Cookman board. And Bethune-Cookman is a whole other can of worms. They've been trying to get that board overhauled, even as a private institution. Attorney Figures. Natalie G. Figures is an attorney and businesswoman who serves as the founder of the law office of Natalie G. Figures. She started her academic success by attending Florida Agriculture and Mechanical University, where she earned a Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice, specializing in juvenile justice. She would gain her Juris Doctorate from Nova Southeastern University, Shepherd Board College of Law. So, Attorney Figures, she didn't even vote. She did not vote. She is a FAMU alum. She did not show up to vote.
Oh, that was the one that didn't show up.
Right. She didn't show up and vote. Now, folks could be like, well, she knew how it was going to go, so she just didn't show up. This vote is probably one of the most important votes for the foreseeable future for FAMU. And she wasn't there for whatever reason. She did not show up. But she didn't show up and vote. So if the numbers are 8 and 4, so we're going through each one of these 8 and 4. Somebody keep tally 8 and 4. And right now, I have lined out 1 FAMU alum, 2 FAMU alum, 3 FAMU alums. 1 voted in favor of Marva. 1 did not show up to the vote, and 1 voted against Marva. Basically, voted for somebody else. Emery Gainey. So this particular person, he does not have any ties to family whatsoever, if I remember correctly. He devoted his entire career to law enforcement. He was a uniform patrol deputy. He held positions in the Florida Office of the Attorney General as a chief of staff and director of law enforcement relations, victim services. So this particular person, I'm not surprised that he voted for Marva. He has an associate's degree from Santa Fe College, bachelor's degree in criminal justice from the University of Florida, and he's a graduate of the FBI National Academy. So, I mean, he's not a FAMU alum, so of course he's going to vote for Marva. But at this point, it's the professor that's from the pharmacy school. You now have 2 people that voted for Marva, 1 that didn't show up, and 1 that voted against. Devin Gibbons, he's the vice chair. He's a consultant for Amscott Financial, a retired senior vice president of the company. He's a former Tallahassee lobbyist, a community activist. He serves on the boards of Take Stock in Children, the Sanderlin Community Center, and St. Petersburg College. So he just has a whole. I'm on all these boards. I'm on all these boards. He has a bachelor's degree from the University of Florida, a master's from the University of South Florida, and a law degree and master's in business administration from Florida A&M. So even though it's not his bachelor's degree, he still has a law degree and master's in business administration from Florida A&M. Gibbons voted for Marva. Gibbons voted for Marva. He has a FAMU degree. Yeah, like not showing up. I mean, I know she's an attorney, but look, not so Gibbons is a FAMU alum. And folks be like, it doesn't matter that they're alums. Shit. These are gonna be the same ones that be rubbing shoulders at those football games in the suites. And those are the people that you rub shoulders with because they're who's who in Tallahassee or in this and that and the third. What? You having a degree that says FAMU and selling out your university, and there's not enough folks mad at these folks. You over here talking about Rick DeSantis. Forget Rick DeSantis. Get into these folks that are on this board. This is not, it's not the same. I'm gonna mute you, nephew, because there's some background. Okay. Kelvin Lawson. I want to say Kelvin Lawson was the one that was putting up so much stank about the basketball coach. They didn't want to give him a 3-year contract. They wanted to give him a 1-year contract. They were questioning, was he worth the amount of money that the AD was trying to give him? I want to say that Lawson was the one that was very, very vocal about not giving the coach a 3-year contract, just being real ugly acting, which eventually caused the coach to leave and go to Grambling. But you know, you over here yielding all this power to fix how you want the basketball coach to be, or how you want the football contracts to run. But you mean to tell me, for the sake of your university, you can't vote in favor of FAMU to protect it? It was out of your hands? Oh, Lord have mercy. He worked at Johnson & Johnson, so he has a lot of corporate relationships with multinational organizations. So maybe he was coming from the viewpoint of someone who's worked in corporate America. But he is a Florida A&M University graduate of the School of Business and Industry. Oh, this is Mr. Perry, Attorney Perry. I want to say this is the attorney. Yes. So this particular person, he's not a FAMU alum, but he is a Tuskegee. I want to say he graduated from Texas Southern. Let me see if this was the one. Yes, he received his bachelor's and master's from Tuskegee University and a Juris Doctorate from Thurgood Marshall School of Law at Texas Southern. So Belvin Perry was the one that sounded the alarm and basically said, the fix is in, the votes are already accounted for. I want to say they basically he's the one that sounded the alarm and let it be known there's some funny business going on here. And he's not even an alum of FAMU, but he voted against Marva. So he voted for the other candidate. And he's the one that sounded the alarm and let it be known. The fix is in. They getting ready to take over the university. Bought and paid for $1 million upfront. Basically, he said that y'all might as well get ready. Hey, Mr. Ford.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, how you doing?
All right. How's it going?
How you doing, Mr. Ford?
Hey, how you doing? Y'all doing all right?
I'm doing a little better today, but I'm mad at you, Mr. Ford.
What happened?
Mr. Ford, we had a show last week. We was looking for you.
Wait a minute. Let's see now. Well, okay, let me see. Did I go out of town last Saturday?
You said, he's talking about when you said drop the link and then you never showed up.
I think I was having phone problems. You know, I got a raggedy phone.
Oh.
Well, Mr. Ford, we're over here dropping all the tea. We're going through all of these trustee members and seeing who's got a FAMU degree.
You know what? People been calling me ever since. Wait a minute. I was told at school yesterday about 2:00 that the lady had been named president. All my relatives who Florida A&M people, they've called me and I've told them the same thing I'm going to tell you. This is a hostile takeover. This is a spiritual thing. And what you have to do, like I told them, you go to get your Bible and you go to Psalms 91 and 92. You read that and then you say your prayers. Because, see, let me just tell you this. All these so-called black elected officials, like the ones up there in D.C. in the federal branch, they're sold out. And so voting and running to elect these black elected officials ain't going to help you. This is a spiritual thing. You got to go to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Oh,
And
let Braxton tell you that scripture. Come
okay,
over here.
well,
Tell Mr. Ford the scripture, Braxton.
Okay.
Put on the full armor of God.
Oh, yeah, he's in Ephesians.
Comes. Yeah, Ephesians 6:13.
Oh, you great man. That's right. You keep reading Ephesians now.
Put on the full armor of God so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground.
That's right.
6:13.
Because see, let me tell you what. Now I don't know if it's Ephesians, but remember the one that says, "You struggle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places." Mm-hmm. That's what we're dealing with. That's what we're dealing with. And see, run into people like Hakeem Jeffries, who's so loud, and Al Sharpton, who's so loud, and that Negro lawyer down there in Tallahassee, last name Crump. See, them kind of folks there, they irrelevant. See, if you
not Crump sold out.
Yeah, all of them sold out. But let me tell you this. This is what you do. You go get your scriptures, go get your Bible, and you read Psalms 91 and 92. And after you read them, you say your prayers on it. Remember, I think it's in Philippians said, pray about all things and worry about nothing. That's what we got to do. See, our power is with the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because, first and foremost, that board down there, what you call them, the Board of Trustees, or what, they sold them people out. They sold the students out. They sold the school out. They sold the alums out, because everybody's saying the same thing. The woman looked like she on crack or looked like a wino. You know?
What?
Yeah, they say she looks like a crackhead. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Mr. Ford, where you go? Oh, Mr. Ford.
Oh man, Simona, my audio went out again. I'm about to hop off.
Oh. Yeah, don't be coming over here talking about faith. And a couple of weeks ago, you was all up in somebody else's chat cutting up kikiing about our president leaving. Spare me. Mr. Ford, come back. Mr. Ford. Mr. Ford might tell a joke, but he ain't gonna tell a lie. Mr. Ford. There you go.
I might be on here double. See if you can cut me off.
Okay.
Cut me off on one end.
Okay. I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah. Mr. Ford, don't be over here clearing it out like that and then leaving.
No, my phone went out, babe. I told you, I got one of these. My phone ain't worth nothing.
Mr.
But you can hear me, baby. You can hear me.
Yeah.
This is what I want you to do. Look up, so we're going to do this for FAMU people. Look up Songs 91. We're just going to do maybe the first 3 or 4 verses. Look up Songs 91 and read it for me.
Okay. Okay, Braxton, your turn. Here you go.
Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord, He is my refuge and fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely He will save you from the
Fowler's snare.
He will cover with you with His feathers, and under His wing with
You will find refuge. What do you think about that, Mr. Ford?
Oh yeah. And my own price, you might have cut me off again.
Okay.
My own price.
Okay, I did.
Okay, so what that's letting you know, our power is with, like I said, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. FAMU now is under we've been overrun by them demons. And so this is what you have to do. Now, what I want everybody to do at this time, I want everybody to close their eyes and say a little prayer for Florida A&M University. Let's take just a few seconds, say a little prayer for Florida A&M University. Everybody bow your head and close your eyes and say a little prayer for FAM.
Braxton, say a prayer for FAMU.
Yeah. I said the other prayer. I did the other prayers.
We're saying a prayer.
Okay, well, that's good. I thank everybody for that, but we just have to do that. See, that's called intercessory prayer. That's when we have to pray for one another, right? See, that's a form of unity that we used to have. We don't have that no more. And all of you that did it, I thank you so much. That's what we got to do. This is spiritual. Like I said, don't run to no black elected official. Don't run to Al Sharpton. All they want is money. Okay? Watch them Negro preachers. They the same way. All of them about money. But see, when you pray directly to the Most High, we can get things accomplished. That's our power. Okay? Not no lawyer, not no Negro lawyer in Tallahassee.
All right. Well, let me. I got a couple more.
Okay.
That I want to share. You got to give up big ups to Belvin Perry, right, Mr. Ford, because he was calling them folks out.
Oh yeah, it wasn't all of them, but there was enough of them over there to do that. I mean, because that was a total betrayal. But see, what they need to do is you got to constantly remind them Judases that's on that board that we know who you are and that we're gonna call you out.
I don't know, Mr. Ford. I felt like they let them folks skate and they were just like, let's blame Rick DeSantis. And I was like, no, y'all had enough votes to.
Yeah, but they had gatekeepers there, right there on their Oh, and hey, Miss Whitley, how you doing? How you doing, Miss Whitley? But listen, see them gatekeepers right there, them traitors. Them straight up traitors right there in your midst. See, them the ones you got to deal with first. That's what Will Packer was trying to tell you.
So this is Craig Reed. He's the Craig Reed is a member of the Board of Trustees for Florida A&M. He's a past member for the National Minority Supplier Development Council. But anyway, he holds a bachelor's in economics from Florida A&M University.
How did he vote? How did he vote? Did he vote for that lady?
I want to say he voted.
How did he? That's what I want to know. I just want to know how they voted. I don't need to know their credentials. I don't need to know where they went to school. Because let me tell you something. A lot of time them.
No. We do have to highlight where they went to school because
let me tell you something. It don't matter where them Sambos went. It's just a matter of what did they do. See, I just need to know, did he vote for that woman?
If they went to FAMU and they voted for that woman, that's those, like you said, those
Sambos, them Sambos. That's what they are, a bunch of Sambos. That's why I say I hope them Rattlers come together and call them Sambos out. If you have to stand in front of their house and let them Sambos know, you ain't gonna get away with it. You ain't gonna get away with it.
All right, I'm getting ready to read it to you because I want to say I think he might have. All right. So Reed voted against Marva. He voted for the other.
All right.
And he's a FAMU alum.
Right. Now, who the ones voted for?
All right, let's go down to the next one. This is Nicole Washington. She voted for Marva.
She's a Sambo-S.
Michael White is a FAMU alum.
How did he vote?
He voted for Marva.
Okay, he's a Sambo.
And then there was someone that was elected, like, or he was elected like literally the day before.
But see what the FAMU people got to do. This is to the students and to the alums and all the people that love FAMU. You take all them Sambos and them Sambo S's and you ban them from the campus. Don't you let them Negroes stand nowhere in front of you, because what they did is just like Judas. You remember in the Bible, the biblical Judas? You remember who you know about Judas, right?
Yeah, for 30 pieces of silver.
There you go. And that's what they were. That's what they did. They sold the school out for 30 pieces of silver. But see, my thing is, do not let them Negroes come on your campus. Do not let them stand before you for nothing, okay? And you let them know that as far as you are concerned, their board position or whatever is illegitimate. It don't matter and it don't count, okay? You got to fight back. You got to push back. Because this is a hostile takeover. That's what it is.
But there were 1, 2, 3. There were 4 people that voted for Johnson that were FAMU alums. 1 person who didn't show up to vote at all, right? The one man, he actually is like a professor at FAMU, Mr. Ford, and he's this faculty senate president.
Okay. And so he voted for the Sambo?
Yeah, and do you know that the pharmacy school just lost $16.3 million worth of funding?
And they're going to lose more with that woman. Knowing that woman, she probably was put there to close the school down. I don't put them past them people.
And you're the one, like, you're literally the faculty senate president. And here's my thing. And basically this is what some folks are saying, is that their hands were tied. There's nothing that we could do.
Any excuse is good, baby. Any excuse will do.
I just would have been, I mean, they're saying, well, the governor has to approve it. Man,
listen, their governor is talking about re-enslaving black children 13 and 14 years old. This guy wants to take 13 and 14-year-old black children and put them out in the orange grove and then cut them off from going to school. That's what we're talking about. That's why I said this lady right here, you got to fight against her because you know who backing her.
I mean, it's kind of, I don't understand. So here's my question, Mr. Ford. Mind you, this is the Board of Trustees that was very adamant of only giving Coach Query 1 year. Very work for the basketball head coach. For the football search, they were so involved and immersed in it and yielding their power over the head football coach search.
Oh yeah.
Getting the AD out, getting the AD that they wanted. They yielded all of this power, and then all of a sudden, when it's the most important vote of FAMU for the foreseeable future, all of a sudden your hands are tied and you don't have no power.
Right, there you go.
I just want to make it, can you please make that make sense? And they're just like, oh, the governor has to approve it. So technically you only really needed figures to be there and vote for Palm, and you needed 2 FAMU alums to vote for Palm, and boom, he's in. That's 3 people. The one that didn't show up, and you need 2 of those other people to flip, and you have the votes to vote in Palm. Then you do the showdown where he has to approve it. So then that's when you do a showdown. That's when you get folks involved in terms of protesting because you're scared that he won't approve it. But you done already sold it out.
That's what I'm telling you now. These people are traitors within your midst. See, the worst traitor is the one right there on your campus. You know, he's right there with you. And that's what these people are. They're traitors.
I'm talking about, like, Okay, so now moving on. Here's my problem with how this is going to go. So, Dr. Thompson at Jackson State, you know, he obviously was clearly not qualified for the position at all in any sort of way. But Thompson had a degree from Jackson State University. He worked at IHL for decades, and he had relationships with Republicans. So were people happy when he was appointed by this board? No, we weren't happy. Relieved that it could have been worse. It could have been worse than him. And he embraced that Jackson State athletics is important and that the band is important. And he got appropriations. So although he was very, very unqualified for the position, he put people in a place of power that knew what they were doing. But once he was elected, it wasn't oh, wait and see, he gonna be out in a year and a half. We're gonna make sure of it. Like, I'm seeing some of these FAMU folks talking about they're gonna make her life hell, and I'm just like, you can't make her life hell. She can literally dismantle your whole administration,
and that's what she's gonna do. That's what she's gonna do. No, they can't make her life here. What you have to do when you've been invaded like this by them demons, you got to pray. You got to pray. You got to read your scriptures. You got to you got to turn it over to the power. When the power was the God of Israel, Isaac, and Jacob. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's the power. Because that's what they see. This is deep. This is demonic. And by the way, I don't know if I was told, I was given some information yesterday, just kind of had me mind boggled. I was told that when Trump came into the presidential office for the second time in January, right, when he was sworn in, they're saying he was not a billionaire when he started his second term. They say since January to the present, he's made $3 billion of money. Now, let me say this. If that had happened with Obama, yes, they would have gone and burned that White House down. Okay? They would have burned that White House down. They said this man has made $3 billion since January. Had you heard that?
No.
Yeah. I said I was going to put it in my Google and see if they could see something about it. To see if that's actually true, because that's what I was telling you. I said, $3 billion? Said he's made $3 billion since January, personal money. And you were asking about would they burn down that White House? If Obama had done that, yeah, they would have burned that White House down.
That's why he'd be like, oh, I don't need a salary. I bet you damn don't need a salary. Shit.
And that airplane to somebody talking about giving, that's going to be his. You know, that's going to be his personal airplane. He ain't giving that airplane to no government.
Qatar, the one that the Qatar people gave him?
Yeah, that's going to be his. That's going to be his personal airplane.
All the Republicans have increased their income. They are over here hook, line. That lady asked for $750,000 with no experience.
That's why I said, when you see them so-called black elected officials, run. Ain't nothing to them. Please stop putting your faith in them so-called black elected officials. I don't know if I told you. When I first heard how
out must be the first thing you got to do in order to be.
I told you that. That's who run DC is them lobbyists. They represent them banking families. When you come to DC as a new congressman, a new senator, they take you in that back room and open that suitcase up and tell you this is yours. But however, we own you. I told you that. These lobbyists own these state capitals and they own the federal government. Them banking families. That's why them people used to always tell you. See, the real government is on Wall Street. You know, they used to say that all the time. The people who call the shots is on Wall Street.
Okay. So I studied, of course, as I said, I was doing my pre-law degree in political science. And so I just wanted to quickly explain what these board members are. In political science, they're known as symbolic representation. Basically, they have the symbol of power. They make you believe that they represent a certain type of group, but they don't actually have any power to wield. An example of that is this board where you have 7 to 8 people. The SGA president of FAMU actually gets to vote as well. Symbolic purpose, meaning they let you know on this vote that took place on Friday, that's when they let these folks know, and the world, but mostly FAMU, that when it comes to the real decisions, that you don't have any power. You can fight and argue and fuss about who you want to be your head coach. You can, for football or for basketball, you can fuss and fight about who you want to be the AD. But when it comes to the real decisions, they basically said checkmate and let you guys know you guys don't have the power that you think you do. We control the board. Even the people who you think, the same ones that are going to be talking about strike, strike, strike again, those are the ones that voted Marva in. You thought like, oh, you know, we were covered. We got this many folks on our board. We're good. Let you know, checkmate. You don't yield as much power as you think. And so moving forward, it has to be reconciliation and let's make this thing work. Because this lady doesn't understand HBCU culture. She's not going to understand a department that's not making money or that's running a deficit. If she's in corporate, her thing is going to be let's downsize.
Well, basically, she was put there to help butcher that university. And that's what she's going to do. Basically, what they're going to do, she's going to be the figurehead. They're going to bring in people under her, and they're going to butcher that university. That's their true intent. They're going to butcher that university. It's not the first time I have seen it done. I've seen it done before.
And you know, the student who did all he did was create a I think he went online and he created basically a petition. They suspended him from school.
Well, tyranny is the law of the day now. They don't want anybody, especially students. I mean, you've seen the situation with them Northeastern universities. You know, they're fighting Harvard. I think Columbia acquiesced, University of Pennsylvania acquiesced. And what they're telling them is, we'll take your money if you stand for the truth. Any of your students stand up, we'll put them in jail, we'll kick them out of school. So that's nothing new. We saw that in the 60s. Okay. What they're trying to do is silence the truth.
I mean, and then the chair, they immediately, as soon as she was voted in, they immediately removed Harper from being able to negotiate the president's salary immediately. Like, it's like, dang.
No, Dr. Carey, no, the goal ain't to merge it, is to get rid of it. No, they're talking about merging. They're gonna get rid of, like I just said, what the mission is to slaughter Florida A&M. That's the mission. Like I tell everybody, right now you see them basically deporting what we would call the Hispanic people. the Caribbean people. Listen, guess who they're coming after next?
Matter of fact, as we're talking about that,
yeah, who they're gonna come after next?
They are in the courts now. I think they're coming out. They're handing down their 14th Amendment. The Supreme Court, I want to say this past week, they were talking about whether or not it's legal to do nationwide injunctions. So basically, if we're talking about, does somebody have the ability, I think it's the federal courts. So the federal courts will basically, if they have one person that comes to the federal courts, or 3 or 4 people that come to the federal courts, and they're all basically trying to do the same thing, which is you can't deport me unless I have my due process. The federal courts will put on a nationwide injunction, which means that ICE or Donald Trump cannot deport anybody until it's resolved at the federal or at the Supreme Court. So this past week, the Supreme Court basically asked the solicitors general, well, if Donald Trump says everybody's getting their guns taken away, we're going to do away with the Second Amendment and everybody's guns are getting ready to get collected. If somebody goes to the court, is it only going to be for that particular person, or is it going to be a nationwide injunction, meaning no, Donald Trump can't take away all of the guns? That's the example that they use. So the courts voted 7-2, but it's not over because they basically sent it back down to the federal courts to answer some legal questions. But I think, like you said, tyranny is definitely on the rise, and Donald Trump is trying to push his things through the Supreme Court. But for me, I think that even if there are like conservatives, I think that they're going to side with the Constitution. Meaning,
well, listen, let me just say this. All you got to do is go and look at Germany after World War I, how the Nazis destroyed the Weimar Republic. And you're going to see great similarities between what was happening in Germany in the late 20s and the early 30s. And then look at what's happening now. One of the things that happened, inflation, it took, $2,000 to get a loaf of bread? Because that's where we headed to, okay? And then, they had a scapegoat, and the scapegoat was certain European people in Germany, okay? So you know who our scapegoat over here, and always been the scapegoat, okay? Black and brown people, okay, have always been the scapegoat. It's the same thing. Like they say, there's nothing new under the sun. All you got to do is go back and study history. Go back and look at how they destroyed the Weimar Republic in Germany. And you're going to see great similarities between what's happening now and what happened in Germany in the late 20s and the early 30s.
I think it's interesting how white folks, all of a sudden, they know that the 14th Amendment was for the freedmen. I think that's so interesting, right? That now all of a sudden they're able to differentiate. And now all of a sudden they know the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. And now all of a sudden you guys are able to admit it, because they used to say, oh no, the 14th Amendment is for all, it's for the lesbians, the gays, the transgenders. It's for everybody.
Well, they were the late band, what we call it, they got on the bandwagon late. Because now remember, when they did pass that 13th Amendment, what the rich people in America did to get around it, they put in the word peonage, which meant that blacks were not slaves anymore simply because they're black. But what they said was, if you were in prison, peonage, then you were a slave. Because really, what people don't understand is after the Civil War was won, they re-enslaved black people in the South, especially black males, young and old, to rebuild the South. Because the Civil War destroyed the South, okay? Most people, that was a second Emancipation Proclamation. The second one was signed by Franklin Roosevelt. All right? Now, The 15th Amendment lasted about 10 years because of the Union troops being stationed in the South. During that period, we called Reconstruction. Once Rutherford B. Hayes pulled the Union troops out of the South, the 15th Amendment was null and void in the South. Because remember, the Union Army was never demilitarized because Abraham Lincoln was kind of favorable to the South. Remember, he was actually born in Kentucky. His favorite song was Dixie. Okay, so the Confederate Army came out as the Klan. People talking about where the Klan came. The Klan was nothing but the Confederate Army. The Confederate Army was never demilitarized. So as long as the Union Army was in the South, yeah, they allowed black men to vote for about a 10-year period. We called it Reconstruction. But once Rutherford B. Hayes pulled them out of the South, listen, you went near that voting thing, they're going to either torture you or they're going to hang you. So they got, I mean, see, they'll tell you 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, but always remember, he's a liar, a deceiver, a murderer. So he lies on everything and he deceives. So he says he ends slavery, involuntary slavery. You're no longer a slave because of your skin color, but however, he comes and pick you up, puts you in prison, then he calls you a slave. See, he circumvented the law. That they've always done that. That's why the Indian said the Caucasian speaks with a forked tongue. He signed 400 treaties with the Native American, and then he broke all of them. You can go look it up.
But it's just interesting. I even think Donald Trump made a statement, or it was from one of his accounts, and it basically said the 14th Amendment is not for illegals coming over here and having babies. It was for the new freed slaves and their descendants. And I'm just like, well, I'll be damned.
Listen, tell everybody go study Melania, because she's an immigrant, and then she brought her family over here. They were immigrants. So that's what I'm telling you again. They speak with a forked tongue. He living with an immigrant, sleeping with an immigrant every night. Read the story about a Melania. Okay, that's all you got to do. And then you'll see what they're nothing but liars and deceivers. He's a clown,
a habitual
liar. That was at one point during his first administration. The Washington Post was keeping up with every lie he told. They had gotten to 27,000 lies told by Donald Trump, and they stopped keeping up with him.
They said, okay, we can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
So, and that's just where we're at. I'm hopeful for Jackson State's sake, and just to kind of like steady the boat. For us, I'm hoping that maybe they'll take the interim tag off of Dr. Denise Jones Gregory. I mean, I know it's early, but just for stability and just make her the president. Like, let's not have to go through this. And the reason why I remember us talking about this last year when the 237 scandal hit and everybody was like, oh, Dr. Robinson, he got to go. I remember saying vividly, I said, now is not the time making changes at the president level. Not when we have what's going on in terms of possibly Donald Trump being elected and stuff. Now is not the time for all that. And then to double down on that, Donald Trump is now returning a lot of the power back to the states, or at least he's trying to. It could get
because what he wants to do, he wants to do, all of the money, the entitlement programs, Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. He wants to loot that money among him and the oligarchs like Elon Musk, this guy Mark Zuckerberg, the guy out there that owns Oracle. See, they're going to loot that money. Okay, what I mean by loot, go back to the 80s we had those corporate raiders that came in and looted a lot of money on Wall Street. Ivan Boesky, they call them the corporate raiders. But see what Trump and them want to do, they want to do that corporate raiding to the government, to the federal government. That's what they want to do. Right, Bezos and all them. See, they're going to take all of that money and they're going to loot it. And then they're going to put the rest of it into the military, because whether we want to accept it or not, the world is getting ready for World War III. The world is getting ready for another major conflict. I have told y'all over and over, keep your eyes on the Chinese. See, we got a clown and them people playing chess. Yeah. Because the Chinese people, that government has already told you, if you want a tariff war, we have a tariff war. If you want a military conflict, we can have that too.
Well, we definitely don't want a military conflict.
Well, let me tell you something, baby. Let me tell you something. I hate to tell you this, but listen, that's what we're moving toward. And see, the other thing is, he right now he's already said he wants over $1 trillion Pentagon budget. Now, that's going to be to pay these people to join, because they're going to bring that draft back, whether we want to accept it or not. They're going to bring that draft back. And then
what draft? The military draft?
Yeah, they're going to bring that back.
Well, they don't want women in there, and they don't want transgender.
Well, I don't know, but they're going to bring that draft back. They're going to do that. That's coming. That's coming. Because see, like I said it to you once before. See, what the Chinese are saying is this: we ruled the world 5,000 years ago, and it's time for us to rule again. Okay? That's what they want. And they understand ain't nobody going to give up their power. Ain't nobody going to act. You got to knock the number one. America has been the world's strongest nation since World War I. Okay? For 100 years, the West, the European countries, and the United States humiliated the Chinese people.
Yeah, we don't want no smoke with none of them.
The rise of Mao Zedong. Okay? And then I'm going to tell you something. Them 100 years I'm telling you about, they hadn't forgot that. See, we the ones, when you look at the black man, black woman, and black children in America, we got the shortest memory of all. We forgive people for everything. The boy Dylan Roof went up there and killed 9 people in that church in Charleston. And black folks was on TV the next day saying they forgive him, and they wanted to forgive it.
Forgiveness in our heart. Forgiveness in our heart.
But see,
they took that young man to McDonald's after. They took him to McDonald's.
They sold it for a cheeseburger. See, that's brainwashing. That's brainwashing. And that ain't what they were supposed to ask for. What they were supposed to ask for was God's deciphering that whole situation. Let him deal with that. They weren't supposed to forgive him. Forgive him for what? He done went in there and killed 9 people in a prayer meeting. And the next day, you get on TV talking about you forgive me. Come on, man, please. See, that's brainwashing. No, we ain't forgiving. We just brainwash. But now let me tell you what we'll do. We'll kill each other. We'll slaughter each other for us over with. There you go. That's right. SWAC is back, brother. You 100% right. Stockholm Syndrome. That's what it is. Stockholm Syndrome.
One of those 9 was a South Carolina state representative.
Yeah, he was a minister too. Matter of fact, one of the ladies that was killed, she went to Clark with me. She was an AKA. She went to Clark with me. Yeah, she was an AKA. We were, matter of fact, we came to Clark the same year. Fall of 1978. She was one of the people that was murdered in that church.
Terrible.
Yeah. See, we're not supposed to be religious. We're supposed to be spiritual. So when the churches want you to be religious and all that, that means they want you to be docile. Like John Walsh says. John Walsh says there's 3 entities that this country was able to put Trump in that White House a second time. She says the school system, the dumbing down of the education. She talked about the The corporate media never told anybody how dangerous this man was. Matter of fact, they was for him. And I come to think with the third one, she said it was the school system, the corporate media, and the churches. Yeah.
My uncle and aunt, they're both ministers, and I remember him as a little girl. He was preaching, and he said, in the last days, people basically will have itching ears, meaning that they will only listen to like what they want to hear. They don't want the truth.
That's
they want to hear. It's not what they need to hear, but it's what they want to hear in terms of how they're living their lifestyle. They don't want nobody to tell them that they're wrong. In terms of how they carry themselves, they don't want nobody telling them that they're wrong. Or in terms of their finances or anything, they want to have a feel good moment. They don't want to hear the truth anymore.
I want you to do something for me. You got to do this favor for me. I want you to go to 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter. And I want you to read 1 through 6. It's 2 Timothy. You can put it up on the screen if you can. 2 Timothy, it's the 3rd chapter, 1 through 7.
Okay.
And read that for us. I just want to hear that so everybody can understand that this is not, see, you ain't going to vote your way out of this. This is spiritual. Read that. It's 2 Timothy, 3rd chapter, and 1 through 2.
Okay, let me put this on the screen.
Yeah.
But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power. Have nothing to do with such people. They are the kind who worm their way into homes and gain control over gullible women, who are loaded down with sins and are swayed by all kinds of evil desires, always learning, but never able to come to a knowledge of the truth.
See, and so the question to the people, to you and to the people, is that true or false? I say it's true. Is what you just read true or false?
It's definitely true.
Okay.
Didn't you go to undergrad at Clark Atlanta and master's at Grambling?
Yes. Yeah.
Because why are folks trying to clock your tea? James says, Mr. Ford, just where did you go to school? Tonight it's Clark. The other night you went to Grambling. What did you major in? Politics and political conspiracies? Tell him your history. You majored in.
Yeah, I did. No, you're correct. You're right.
Oh, somebody said read the MSG version. Wait, the who? What's that? What's the MSG version?
Well, my version is always the King James Version 1611 with the Apocryphal.
Okay, let me read King James.
Yeah, that's mine. It has to be King James 1611 with the Apocryphal. Because remember, the Catholic Church. Yeah, now who is this person said they want to know where I'm from? What's his name? Who is that? James. So I can speak to. Okay, where's James at? I'm trying to see him.
Let me put it on here.
Okay. Let's see. Let's do James. Where's James?
Here it is.
Okay, is this James Bethley? Okay, first of all, why are you playing me that close? I don't care where you went to school. I don't care nothing about what you say or do. Why are you worried about what I went to school? Okay, so let me just tell you this. You can kiss me. You know what you, I don't want to say that. I don't need to say that. Okay, but I don't understand why you're trying to play me so close. I don't know you. Have I asked you where you went to school?
Right.
Did I ask you that? Did I ask you where you went to school? Did I ask you what you majored in? No, I didn't. Okay, so get back off me. Thank you. Because I'm about to say the wrong thing. Okay, and I don't need to do that because this is a family show.
right. So, woo! So the MSG version says, "Don't be naive. There are difficult times ahead. As the end approaches, people are going to be self-absorbed, money-hungry, self-promoting, stuck up, profane, contemptuous of parents, crude, coarse, dog-eat-dog, unbending, slanderers, impulsively wild, savage, cynical, treacherous, ruthless, bloated windbags, addicted to lust, and allergic to God. Lord have mercy. They'll make a show of religion, but behind the scenes, they're animals. Stay clear of these people. These are the kind of people who smooth talk themselves into the homes of unstable and needy women and take advantage of them. Women who, depressed by their sinfulness, take up with every new religious fad that calls itself truth. They get exploited every time and never really learn."
But see, let me say this, and I know a lot of people get mad with me for saying this. See, when you look at us as a people, and I say this over and over, 66% of our people belong to Satan. 33% of our people are righteous. And the scriptures tell you that. So the fact that we can't get, you can't get us to pull together, that's already in the Bible. I'm going to say it again. 66% of our people believe in Satan. They want to be like white folks. They envy white people. They want hair like white folk. They want the skin color of white folk. They want white folk laying next to them in the bed. They want to marry white folk. Yeah, that's what they want. That's what they want. But 33% of our people are righteous. 33% of our people are righteous. That's why I tell you, watch who you got around your children. Watch who you got in your house. When that 66% of them people that I'm talking about, come on, whatever they say, let it go on one ear and come out the other. Yeah.
Look at all.
Yeah, that's 66. That's them self-hating folks. They hate themselves, so they hate their people.
Those are the folks that will sell you out for the 30 pieces of silver.
There you go. But I'm just telling you, the overwhelming majority of our people belong to Satan. But I mean, whether we won't accept it or not is immaterial. It don't matter. It's the truth.
So the question is, are you in the 33%? And I say it like you said, we are in a spiritual warfare.
Spiritual warfare.
The higher level.
Voting and all that ain't gonna do nothing. I done told y'all. I have to be honest with y'all. I was so impressed at one time with Hakeem Jeffries. Now I can't stand to see him because he's a liar and a deceiver. And I know he's bought off.
Well, Mr. Ford, like you said, those people that are the politicians, they're symbolic representation. They don't yield any power unless they allow them to yield power.
Oh, yeah. See, I always remember Hewitt P. Newton said that the politician is a professional liar. That's what he is. He's a puppet on a string. He's controlled by the multinational corporations and those rich families. Yeah.
What was the turning point for Hakeem? Because I remember he did do a really nice.
Listen. Let me say this.
He did a really good speech.
Okay. First of all, when Trump came into office the second time, from day one, he's been breaking the law. Now they finally telling you that him deporting those people to El Salvador and to them other South American countries, that was illegal. Number one, he didn't have the power to do that. Number two, a lot of those men had neither committed a crime here in America and had not committed a crime in their countries.
Right.
Now, we are supposed to have checks and balances, which is a lie. There's no such thing as checks and balances no more. This man is a dictator. Now, I tell everybody all the time, if Barack Obama had took a lot of white folks out this country and shipped them to African prisons, how long would he have gotten away with that? You don't think nobody in the Republican Party would have said anything about it? You don't think that those people would have ran up in that White House? You don't believe that? Come on.
With pitchforks.
Yeah.
Drug them out.
Yeah.
You weren't on when I first started, but did you hear about the Nottoway plantation burning to the ground?
Yeah, it's been in the news. Yeah, it's been in the news.
A lot of people.
That's the one in Louisiana. Where's that one?
That's in Louisiana, but a lot of people.
Yeah, that's right. It's been in the news. Yeah.
That was a spiritual awakening right there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, let me say this. The Bible says, as you have done unto others, so shall it be done to you. See, them people kidnapped us from Africa and brought us over here to be slaves. They took this land from the indigenous people, slaughtered them people, and now we on stolen territory. Okay? The United States took from Mexico, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California. And so a lot of them, in their arrogance and with their white supremacy, they feel that they will never have to pay for that. But let me tell you something, that's a lie, because the Bible ain't no lie. The Bible says, as you have done unto others, so shall it be done to you. You marched us into slavery, you're going to be marched into slavery, right? You done killed it. Listen, I can remember when I was at Clark, and what's that guy named that's checking me? What's his name? James? What's that guy name that was checking me? James. Okay, James, let me tell you about when I was at Clark, since you worried about me. They told us when I was at Clark, and it was supposed to be a low figure. They put it at a low figure. This is what they told us. They told us that the Europeans came to America and killed 77 million Native Americans. They killed 99 million so-called black men, women, and children. So that's what they was teaching us when we was at Clark. So James, I think he was asking me, telling me where I went to school at. So that's one of the things they told us, James. Yeah. So they murdered 77 million Native Americans and they murdered 99 million black people. Men, women, and children.
And then here's the slap in the face. He decided to bring the South Africans here as refugees.
And giving them money. And giving them money.
Giving them land.
Yeah. Won't listen. You know now, like, you know that tornado hit Kentucky and it hit Missouri, right? Now, them people out there, they don't know if they're going to get no help because he done basically destroyed FEMA. They don't know if they're going to get no help. But like you said, you're going to bring them South Africans here talking about they was discriminated against. Do you know what them South Africans did over there under apartheid? All them black folks they killed. Listen, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I didn't even know about, growing up, I didn't even know about Nelson Mandela until I got to Clark, James. That's when I learned about Nelson Mandela. Now, what I did know when I was in high school, I did hear about the murder of Steve Biko. I was in the 11th grade when that happened. I do remember that. But I didn't even know who nobody taught me about Nelson Mandela growing up. I learned about Nelson Mandela when I got that Clark.
Bringing over white people. You know, those white people are not used to living around black people.
Well, the number one thing, see, listen, here's the thing. Right now, white people in Europe and America have a 0 birth rate. Okay? If a white woman wants to get pregnant now, usually she's going to get a black man. That's where she get pregnant. Okay, you can look it up. They got a zero because they're already saying right now in the next 10 years, Europe will be 40% African. Yeah, and they already told you about America. America's browning. It's browning. That's why white people say they hate democracy. Because democracy is about voting. That's why they say they don't want no democracy. That's why, like John Washington keeps saying, they sick of them talking about if they don't stop Trump, going to be a dick. Trump is already a dictator. He's already a dictator.
It's kind of like we're living without our rights. They just haven't pushed that button yet.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I mean, just like the hostile takeover of FAMU, they pushed the button, right? But we've been living under this for quite some time. They're just now in a space where they feel comfortable and they know there's no repercussions for pushing the button, and outside of a few outcries and a few social media posts, it doesn't go any further than that.
Yeah. See, long as Black people couldn't vote, democracy was the way. Long as you couldn't vote. Now you voting, your numbers have multiplied and all of that. Now they don't want that. Worst thing to them now is democracy. They don't want it. They don't want you to say nothing about democracy, right? Okay. So now it's all about what they want is a dictator, and they want white minority rights, because they know that soon, basically white people already are a minority, because like everybody say, them census reports is nothing but lies. There's more Black people in America than they telling you. Okay. So it's all about dictatorship, and they want martial law. That's what they want.
Speaking of that, what do you think that, I know you said that it's a spiritual warfare, but moving forward, how are HBCUs administrations going to navigate this type of time where the fix is in, you're going to have folks that are the same color as you, and your degree says the same thing that theirs says in terms of where they got it from, but they're not on your team? How do you navigate in that type of?
We got to go back to what I said earlier. You got to consult the scriptures. There's nothing new under the sun. We got it, like I told you tonight. What them people at FAMU got to do. This is my suggestion, like I told my relatives today and yesterday. Go and read Psalms 91, Psalms 92. Then you pray over it. And then the Most High will put a plan on your head. But see, what done happened to us is we think we don't need the Most High. Because we say we lawyers, we say we doctors. We got 2-3 degrees. We independent, and all that. And all of that leads us to foolishness. Okay. And then the main one that nobody wants to accept is when you integrate, you become a slave. Yeah.
Which is probably why they don't want HBCUs, right? Because
well, listen. Always remember this. Trump's a clown, and he's a clown that hates intelligent people. So automatically he's told you, he loves low mentality people. He said he liked them kind of people that would allow him to murder somebody on 5th Avenue or Madison Avenue, and then he could get away with it because he said it. He loved the lowly educated because he's a liar and deceiver. He's a trickster. And so when you got people that in higher learning, he hates them people. You know how much he hates them people at Harvard? You know how much he hates them people in Columbia? First of all, see, here's the thing you got to remember about Trump. Trump is not a king. Okay? Remember, see, in New York, when you live in New York, the shot callers live in Manhattan. He didn't live in Manhattan. He grew up in Queens.
Oh, not Queens.
Yeah, he grew up in Queens. He ain't no shot caller. They ran him out of New York.
Miss Smith said, we visited South Africa about 3 years ago, and she said she was disappointed and hurt because they still have people living on the edge of a town in Johannesburg in little tiny huts.
Well, let me say this to Ms. Smith. From about the late 40s, they put in that system of apartheid, and they murdered black folks, banned black folks, ran them out of South Africa, put them in Robben's Island, and all of that. Okay. 1990, after 27 years, they allowed Nelson Mandela to go free. Do you know, I think in 1993 and 94, they made Mandela the president of South Africa. But here's the thing. They come up with something called the Truth and Something Commission. Guess who they blame for South Africa's problems? Nelson Mandela's wife, Winnie Mandela. That's who they blame. Okay? Don't ever forget that now. That's how they lie and deceive. They got films. There was a guy, Denzel Washington played the role of Steve Biko. The movie was called Cry Freedom. Everybody needs to watch that, Cry Freedom. He played the role of Steve Biko. It showed you how they just was come in and shoot children down. I think one was called the Sharpeville Massacre. There was another massacre in Soweto and all that. But then you come in and then you blame Winnie Mandela. She was the demon. She was the problem. See, that's how they lie and deceive. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Mr. Thornton. You're right, Brother Johnny. Truth and reconciliation. And all they said was that Winnie Mandela was the worst person in the world. She was the worst person in the world, was Winnie Mandela now. Ain't that something? Yeah, she was the worst person in the world, was Winnie Mandela. Now, them folks done kill and run. I mean, just go back. That Sharpeville marriage, they kill 5, 6, and 7-year-old children. That's who they kill. The police shot them down. I think it was called. That's when Nelson Mandela said, see, because Nelson Mandela was inspired by Martin Luther King. That's who inspired him. But after they killed them children, he said, I can't be nonviolent no more. I can't do it.
Rusty Shackelford said he goes to South Africa at least once a year, and the black folks literally live in homes that look like tuna cans.
Yeah,
maybe.
Listen. It's you got the Oppenheimers and the De Beers. They still own all of the diamonds and the gold in South Africa. They still own that. There was no transfer in that. Now they allowed some of the South Africans to vote, kind of like the way they did in America during the 60s. But economically, really nothing changed. The De Beers, you go back and look at the Oppenheimers there in South Africa and the De Beers, I think it was. Those people still own they still own all of the gold, all of the silver, all of the diamonds, all of that. Go back and you can look it up.
Nelson divorced Winnie and married someone else.
Yeah, what? He married another lady. Yeah, he did.
So you talking about she stood by his side all that time while he was locked up?
27 years. She kept his name alive and kept fighting. You hear me? That's why they did her like that.
So they said that we need to specify and not generalize, because I know of some Black South Africans who live better than some of us. It's not all of South Africa.
Yeah, it's like over here, you're going to have your Black billionaires and all of that. But let me just tell you this. We all at the bottom of the boat. I don't care how much money you got. The other night I told you about Kanye. They put him back in his place. You know what I'm saying? They let him know you might have 6 billion, 2 billion, but you're still a nigga in America. They did it to Paul Robeson. They did. I mean, see, Black people get carried away with individual wealth. We think individually. Everybody else thinks as a nation. And see, we don't understand that. And, I told you the story the other day. There was the Black drug dealer that went to China, and he met with one of the most powerful men in China. And that man told him, said, black people in America are the most powerful people in the world. He said they the greatest athletes, they the greatest mathematicians, they the greatest teachers, they the greatest this, they the greatest that. But he said, listen, the thing y'all don't have, you don't have no unity, so anybody can defeat you. And so that's what black people don't understand. See, go back. There was a guy, his name was Willie Lynch, and he told them white people how to raise us, I think in either in the 1600s and the 1700s. He said, take the biggest black person you got, beat him down, rape him, or sodomize him in front of all the black people that respect him. And his woman won't respect him, his children won't respect him. Nobody. They've been doing that now 300 to 400 years. They treat us like they treat animals, like they treat horses.
Back in 1964.
Listen, put that up. See if you can look that up. It's called the Willie Lynch Plan. See if you can pull that up.
Oh,
Everybody should read that. The guy was from the Caribbean. He came to Virginia to tell white people how to train black slaves. I'm trying to think.
The Willie Lynch letter, often referred to as the Willie Lynch Plan, is a document that claims to be a speech delivered by a British slave owner named Willie Lynch on the banks of the James River in Virginia in 1712. In it, Lynch allegedly outlines a method for controlling enslaved black people by strategically fostering division. Now, mind you, this stuff is taking place present day, particularly by pitting the young against the old, setting the light-skinned against the dark-skinned, turning men against women, and using fear, distress, and envy as psychological tools of control. The alleged goal was to create a system of division so effective that enslaved people will be controlled for generations, even without constant direct force.
There you go. That's why we're killing each other like we do. That's why we hate ourselves. That's why we hate our people, all of that. Okay, that's why Malcolm told them 60 years ago, you a fool to let your enemy train your children. He told them that, and nobody wouldn't believe it. He said, you a fool to let your enemy train your children.
Syndrome just in the SWAC.
Yeah.
Shoot, we see the Willie Lynch syndrome just in the SWAC. There will be folks that'll laugh at your misfortune of the systemic or environmental racism that you face. They'll be laughing and keying about it.
Yeah.
About your misfortune. It's funny to them. And then when they get and something happens to them, all of a sudden, everybody's supposed to kumbaya.
Yeah.
Willie Lynch in 4K.
There you go.
All up and through. Because it's we're a conference of black institutions, great HBCU institutions. And we can't get it together.
No.
Laughing at who has a pothole, and who has this and who has that, who doesn't have enough money to do this and who doesn't have enough money. The Willie Lynch syndrome is in 4K.
Yeah.
And there is people who are profiting off of making fun of systemic racism, environmental racism.
And now we can bring it home a little bit closer. Look at how them white folks set up what they call the boule. And when you find out who the boule is, those are traitors. They are what they call the gatekeepers. Their job is to keep us oppressed, keep us down. Go look at all the black people that's in the boule. And all you got to remember is one word. Those are traitors.
Lord, Mr. Ford, the same thing that'll make you laugh will make you cry. The ditch that you dig for one, you might end up falling right up in it. Just as soon as you.
The guy that's everybody so love so much and listening to him. Isn't he boule? What's that guy? Martin what?
Roland Martin?
Yeah, and he boule.
I just remember that he was front and center when Bethune-Cookman had all of their troubles.
I think he's boule.
After how he was like, he flew down there to listen to people talk about mold, and Texas A&M had mold issues where he graduated from.
I think he's Boulay. I always remember when Roland Martin.
Center. What happened? What happened? You guys don't have a proper this, that, and the third. I mean,
now I'm gonna tell y'all one y'all gonna be mad with me about. But what's the name got that Boulay symbol on his chest, so you know he ain't no good. That boy played for the Lakers. What's his name?
Who?
The basketball player for the Lakers. What's his name?
I'm not finna say his name.
Yeah,
You're talking about the one that
the king.
LeBron James.
There you go. He got the Boulay symbol on his chest. Always remember when you see that Boulay symbol, that's a bunch of traitors.
Oh Lord. Oh, it said somebody in the chat said that he's admitted 3 times to being a part of the Boulay.
Yeah, he's got it on his chest. He got the symbol of the Boulay. I think it's a lion with wings or something. He's got that tattooed on his chest.
So I think for me, like with Roland, my only question for him is like, he's like, he profits off of like discussing HBCU problems, but you have those same problems in your own university, and your university has enough money to fix it.
Well, you know, he's also affiliated with that boy over there on that other channel too, man. You know that, right?
What? I don't know, Mr. Ford.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He's affiliated with that interlope on that other channel over there.
I know that one thing that I do know is that everything that's done in the dark will come to light. I know
that's
that.
Right.
And that
and don't forget now, you know, all these girls are saying that LeBron was a constant at them Diddy parties too now. You know,
put allegedly in the chat. Allegedly. Not a Diddy baby oil party.
LeBron was at them parties now. But did you see? It was a list came out. It was because they started the trial. Did you see all the night? They trying to say Michelle Obama was at them Diddy parties. Allegedly, yeah, they trying to say Michelle was there.
Like
Leonard, what's that boy name? What's that boy name? Leonard DiCaprio. Isn't that his name? How do you say it? Leonard DiCaprio?
I need 20 allegedly.
Yeah,
right?
say allegedly. But what's that boy's name? That Titanic, isn't it? Leonard DiCaprio or something?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, they say he was a regular.
They said no damn allegedly. Now listen, Mr. Ford.
TD Jakes.
Okay, so TD Jakes said swallowed. Have you ever been swallowed up?
Okay, all right. Yeah, they said TD was at them Diddy parties.
Oh, Mr. Ford!
Yeah, they came out with a list. I think it was this week. It was on the internet. They had a long list. Huh? Allegedly, but they had pictures. Anybody that seen it? It was a list. They published all the people that was at the Diddy parties. I think Denzel was on there. I think Denzel's picture was on there. Did anybody else see that?
Mr. Ford, you got these folks over here sweating. You got these folks over here sweating. Talk about swallowed. Have you ever been swallowed? Swallowing. Okay, so Mr. Ford, so I was told that yes, a lot of people did attend these Diddy parties, but they left at a certain time.
Allegedly, right?
Allegedly, what? That they left at a certain time?
They left, yeah. But I know listen, I can't pull it up right now because you know my phone, right? But they had
swallowed up. Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming and I would have been swallowed up? Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing?
Mr.
Listen, put in guests at the Diddy parties. It should come up because it came up. I thought I can't do it. See if a list come up. Yeah, put in guests at the Diddy parties. Because they had a whole list. I mean, it was everybody. I think I saw
according
Denzel.
to a BBC article.
It was.
It says that he
call some of them names out. Call them names out.
Justin Bieber, Mariah Carey, Paris Hilton, Jennifer Lopez, Jay-Z, and Beyonce. Oh, wait, they got even pictures. He's the party king of New York. Oh, Lord. Man, they said that he did have an iconic list. Kim Kardashian used to go.
Yeah, because they said they got a freak tape on her at the party. Allegedly. Yeah, they got a freak tape on her.
Tommy Lee, producer Russell Simmons, LL Cool J. Why they got the Reverend in 4K? Mr. Ford, they got Reverend Al Sharpton there.
That's right. And what about Oprah Winfrey? I think her name was on there. She was at the Diddy party.
This is in 4K, y'all. Nah, this ain't no allegedly, because there they are in 4K. There's LL Cool J, and there is Reverend Al Sharpton. Now, why are you at this all-white party? Ashton Kutcher, Demi Moore, Donald Trump.
They said Donald Trump
used to go.
Well, he might get a pardon there.
Lord. Oh my goodness. While all this stuff is going on, have you been following the
I know Cassie's been the star witness this week. I know that. I haven't, read the transcript, but I know they said Cassie.
You said Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, I know they say Leonardo. I want to say they say Oprah was there.
You mean to tell me all of these folks? Dr. Carey said some of these folks went home before the shenanigans.
Oh, okay. Somebody said Cassie. Okay, Cassie done. So Cassie. Yeah, I know. I think she testified 2 days, right? Did she testify 2 days?
I thought she testified. Yeah, testified for 2 days.
Yeah, I think that was when the list came out. The list came out while she was testifying, because I think it came across my phone.
Leonardo DiCaprio, though?
Yeah, and supposedly he left the country.
They said that the freaky stuff was at the after party. So there was a party, and then, around 12 o'clock, it's time to go.
Yeah.
And there were some folks that stayed. Oh, they said she testified for 4 days. I don't think it was.
She testified 4 days?
I don't think it was 4 days. So I've briefly been following it. We have a Jackson State alumna, and she is in New York following the Diddy trial. And she said that Diddy's defensive lawyer is the same one that was a lawyer for Young Thug. So
the guy from Atlanta?
Yeah, they said that he has a really, really good lawyer, and that they were able to question Cassie and basically make her admit that, she was doing drugs on her own sometimes, that she was trying to make him jealous, and that she was jealous, and that Sometimes she initiated whatever freak offs they were doing.
Yeah, I did hear something like, but
anyway,
and supposedly they blew up somebody's car. Who?
oh yeah, that's an ex-boyfriend of Cassie.
Boyfriend blew up his car. Yeah,
but Cassie made a lot of concessions whenever they questioned her that put in that reasonable doubt that she was not in an abusive relationship. They are not shying away from the fact that he was abusive. The question was he running an enterprise, which is the RICO, which once you get hit with RICO, that's 10 years automatically. And
was he exploiting the minors?
Right. Was it
children under 18 years of age? Yeah, that's what they're trying to prove. Yeah, sex trafficking. That's right.
So I think that they did a good job of basically showing that she was in an abusive relationship, but she wasn't being trafficked. That was the thing, and that's the big thing, is the sex trafficking, because that's what he's being charged with. He's not being charged with assault. And they said she got over $30 million. She got 20 million from Diddy and 10 million from the hotel.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because what he initially said he was going to pay, he gave a whole lot more, because they was trying to that. She knows where all them bodies are buried. She knows too much. Cassie knows a lot.
Well, she's done testifying, and she didn't necessarily. I'm not going to say she didn't. She revealed some things that we didn't know, but she didn't say something that was out of the norm. After we saw that tape, we just was like, oh, he's a horrible person. Here's my thing. These folks who all went to his parties and stuff like that, they've probably seen him either hit her or, and just turned a blind eye, or there were so many people who knew he was doing what he was doing, and they just said, let me mind my business.
Well, it was not, I mean, basically what it was Sodom and Gomorrah. It was you remember the Caligula parties during the Roman Empire? And,
you mean where men was sleeping with men and then women and women?
Yeah, it was that. It was like a spiritual, it was a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah type thing. That's what it was. It was, that the old Roman Empire, them parties that Caligula had, that kind of thing. That's what it was. But
I remember you asked, did we give the $1 million back? Mr. Ford, that money is spent. Okay.
Which one now?
You was asking, I think you asked, did Howard give that $1 million back?
I thought they did. Didn't they give it back?
Well, I think we only got.
I knew Jackson, but I think Howard gave it back.
I think we only got 333,000, but that money was spent. It was gone. And why would we give him the money back? So that he can go buy more baby oil with it? Like, what does he need the money for? When we get reparations, that's gonna be blood money. The whole of the United States was built on blood.
That's right, baby.
When they give you money, blood money.
Where's James at? Let me tell you what they always told us, James. Like I told you, they told us that the Europeans came here, they took the land from the natives, murdered them off, kidnapped our people from Africa, brought them over here for the purpose of slavery, took California, New Mexico, Arizona. It was California, New Mexico, Arizona, Texas from the Mexicans.
Mm-hmm.
And then they imported in the Chinese to build the railroads. And once they built that railroad, they massacred the Chinese and then herded them into them ghettos on the West Coast. That's why you got all them Chinatowns on the West Coast.
Mm.
Yeah. That's what that's one of the things I used to worry about where I was. That's what they taught me, James.
Mm. You hear that, James? You hear that,
James.
Mr. James?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Ford. You heard that Bethune-Cookman won. Did you hear that?
The regular season championship, right?
So congratulations to Mary's children, right?
Yeah.
And their
And,
tournament starts. The SWAC tournament starts next Wednesday.
That's right. That's what everybody. So it's going to be in Birmingham, right?
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
hoping that
everybody's looking forward.
I'm hoping that they will film, or they'll do the same thing that they did it for the softball. I'm hoping they'll do that for the baseball.
Oh, I know they will.
It was so
I know
nice.
they will.
It was so nice. They
It's
had
them two Florida teams are going to be hard to beat. You're going to have that Florida A&M, Bethune-Cookman. They're going to try to come in and take that tournament. They're going to try to take that tournament. Them two schools there, baseball's their thing.
Well, it all comes down to the tournament, right?
Yeah,
Crazy
that tournament, baby.
It's win or go home. I think they have. Do they have double elimination too?
Yeah, they have double elimination. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
Whitley, they won. They clinched the regular season title. They get in the ring.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're saying that baseball will be streamed.
Oh yeah. They're streaming.
So that's exciting.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
We'll be tuning into
Now,
that.
let me tell you something. Somebody was telling me this week. I had a very interesting conversation with a Florida A&M graduate, and he was saying, and I guess this would be allegedly too. He says the word on the collegiate level right now is that a lot of athletic directors, a lot of coaches are worried because they're saying in the next 2 years, you could see at least 5 to 6 athletic programs shut down. Okay, you know you're gonna have your football. That's your money maker. You're gonna have your girls and men's basketball. You're gonna have your baseball. You're gonna have your track and field. But everybody else is in danger. And he said that it would not only be, among the Division IIs and the Division III, this was going to affect even the Division I institutions, where you could see programs like those Olympic sports, like you could see gymnastics shut down. You could see, like bowling shut down, tennis shut down, golf shut down, So I thought that was very interesting, I would hate to see that happen, but that was one of the things I was told this week, that you could see in the next 2 years, possibly 5 to 6 programs shut down in these colleges and universities. Because the other thing he was telling me was that a lot of the major universities, when we say P4, Group of 5, a lot of them are in severe debt because of the money they're spending on athletic. A lot of them are.
And that's the thing, like for us, for HBCUs, we don't really carry the same debt that some of these like Power 4. Like for instance, I remember Rutgers, they had a athletic program deficit of $70 million.
I heard Michigan was almost $300 million. Did you hear that?
I didn't hear that one. From 2023 to 2024, they spent a record $178.3 million during the most recent academic year. So, like, the thing with these Power 4 institutions, they are literally like holding on these massive deficits, whereas
that's what I heard.
HBCUs, I mean, you might topple at maybe $1 million deficit or something like that, or 750,000. You're not going to see a large deficit from the HBCUs, but what we also don't have is the revenue to cover large deficits. They won't let an HBCU have a $70 million deficit.
No, they won't. You're right. Because that was one of the things they said with Florida A&M. The Florida legislature told them they could no longer have a deficit in their traveling. 1 year they made all that money. The stadium was packed almost every weekend, and then they were spending all of the money in traveling, going to Coppin State and Morgan State and Delaware State and all that mess. And supposedly the Florida legislature told them they had to bring that to an end. That was one of the reasons they joined the SWAC. Yeah, because I remember when FAM left the SIAC and joined the MEAC. We all knew that. That was over 40 years ago, and everybody was heard about it. Because everybody was saying, I mean, what does FAMU have in common with Coppin State? What does FAMU
Well,
have
that
in common with
makes sense.
Delaware State?
See why they cut down on traveling and they're always taking a bus.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, see, and that's where you gotta sit down there with Make America Great Again, Marva, and tell her to pull some strings and or the board members who have all these corporate sponsorships, get us a sponsorship.
Yeah.
Go on. Like if it's FSU, you're doing X, Y, and Z. Mr. Ford, what does I mean? I don't know. I feel like, these are trying times, boy, especially with the economy the way it is and the hyperinflation that you were talking about.
Yeah, with the hyperinflation. We talked about it.
A lot of our schools are financially strapped, but you can't pull, like, I know there's a lot of folks that are saying, oh, I'm pulling my donations, I'm pulling this, I'm pulling that. And I'm like, you don't want the students to suffer even worse, do you? Like, you don't stop supporting your university because of who is at the helm. You still have to support your athletics. You're not strapped, said, but y'all are still losing. That's a shame. Why do Prairie View got all that money, Mr. Ford, and they're underperforming?
Say that again then. What was that? I'm sorry.
Said from Prairie View said that we're not strapped, but they don't have no. When's the last time they won a championship? Prairie View.
Wait a minute.
Did they win in bowling?
Yeah, Frazier. Wasn't it Henry Frazier? Didn't he win the SWAC one year?
That was in the 1990s, ain't it?
That KJ Black, wasn't it KJ Black in there?
Okay. 2012, wasn't it?
Was it 2012?
2009. They just won bowling. They just won in bowling.
And they always do good in that. I always keep up with that.
Not for the amount of money they have. They get money for the athletic department.
Oh yeah, they do. They spend they spending 19 billion. I mean, 19 million on athletics. They had a $19 million budget.
I remember when there was a rumor that Coach TC Taylor was going to go and be the head coach for Prairie View. Right around
that because Ashley was out there?
That was when Coach Prime demoted him from being offensive.
Oh, okay.
He was supposed to be.
Ashley Robinson was their AD at one time. He brought in.
No, this was. Yeah.
This is after.
He's over to me. Don't believe that. Shit, we're glad that he didn't go. We're glad it's just a rumor.
Yeah, listen, I listen, like you always say, they talking big noise out there. Let me tell you this. I listen to the Prairie View people talking all through the week. Sometimes I just turn it on and just listen to it. They talking big smack out there in Prairie View.
Mr. Ford, do you hear how they are talking?
Yes. What's your boy name? Ask you Lionel, right? What's the name? Lionel Mosby, right?
Yes.
Oh, they talking, boy, they talking. Listen, they talking big boy talk out there now. It's PV versus everybody, baby. PV versus everybody.
Did you watch the Jaguar Journal with Blue, though?
Yeah. We're talking about with Perry.
Yes.
Yeah, I listen to Perry. I like Perry.
Yes. Now let me play where they listen. Blue broke their little heart the other day because he just basically, here, I'm finna play it right now, baby. I was like, oh, I said Perry's so respectful. Look how respectful Perry is. Blue just went ahead and let him know who the king of football is. He let him know.
Oh yeah.
He let him know it ain't gonna be close.
Just looking across the conference, Jackson State, I think added a lot of guys. I'll say this: I think a budding star in the conference could potentially be Kenyon Christian, running back from San Diego State. They added him in the first portal window. I think he is a perfect 1-2 punch with Ahmad Miller, who they have coming back at running back. And then you look at what they added in the spring window. They find a way to keep Nathan Rimbert in the house, who entered the portal initially, decides to come back. That's a huge pickup for them. And then we talked about the Savage pickup, and then they add 2 offensive lines from Tennessee State, one of which started at Tennessee State last year. So I think Jack did a really, really good job addressing the needs in the portal. And then for Florida, just looking across the conference, Jackson State.
Wait, I got more. Wait, let me see it. I got more. Where he basically said he don't see how folks are gonna win. It's Jackson State versus everybody.
Yeah, hey, boy. Ooh,
Repeat.
That boy, what's his name? It's something Lionel. What you call him, Lionel?
Lionel.
Boy, that he be doing it now. He be talking some trash. Boy, he said PV versus everybody.
I cannot believe he's over there still bumping them.
Yeah, he talking big boy talk now. He talking big boy talk.
And then now it's they don't know who's gonna win the SWAC. Now it's all of a sudden they don't know who's gonna win it. Who's gonna win what?
And then somebody asked me the other day, who do I think was the favorite to win the SWAC? I said, hell, I don't know who's gonna be on the rosters until we get to fall camp. That's the other part to it, Blue. I don't know until we get to fall to make sure that these rosters are in fact intact.
I don't blame you. I mean, so we've done early predictions. I think I feel I don't know about you. I feel much safer predicting the East right now. I think the East is going to be such a great race. And I'll say this, as of right this second, Jackson State is the most talented team on for right now. And they look like, to me, because we've only had one repeat Celebration Bowl champion. That was that A&T run, right? When they were those A&T teams were so talented. Jackson probably has the best chance, I think, out of all the years to be the team that repeats, man, just with how that roster is built. Because they really sold out and brought back some key contributors that I really didn't think were coming back. Like, if you would have told me in December that they would have found a way to keep Jeremiah, they would have found a way to keep Travis Terrell, Jacoby and Morgan would be back, Tillian would be back. They would add Samar Savage and Nathan Rimbert. And I would have been like, yeah, okay. Because they just have endless money. They found a way to keep those guys in the house. And they're going to be so talented coming into the season, and their schedule lays out really nicely.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Mr. Ford, what Blue say? What Blue say, Mr. Ford?
It's Jack. But listen, they should ask Blue how many games A&T gonna win.
Oh Lord.
What you give them, 2 or 3, Mr. Mon? What you getting A&T? 2 win, 3 win.
Mr. Ford.
They can beat the color school, not Gibbs up there.
Who they going? What color school?
Wait and see. I don't know if they can beat Central. They can beat Tennessee State. They said Tennessee State ain't got nobody. All the boys know.
Reggie Barlow is not going out.
They said Barlow and them got to go and get a whole team. A lot of them boys went up there with that school's called Bowling Green.
Ooh.
They went with Eddie George. And then y'all got 2 up. Y'all got 2 of the Lama.
See, this is the thing with Prairie View, and you know how they doing all that talking.
Yeah, they talking, baby.
They was talking last. You don't remember last SWAC Media Day where I was sitting there?
No, Mr. Mona, they weren't talking like this. I have never heard Prairie View. I've been keeping up with Prairie View for years. I've never heard Prairie View talk like this.
Never?
I've never heard Prairie View. Prairie View is talking big talk.
Mr.
Basically,
Ford.
they saying that y'all better get them this year, cause in 2 years they coming after TC. Cause he said listen, I'm telling you, I ain't never heard Prairie View talk like this. I've never heard, even the ones I've worked with, they got their chest stuck out. Yeah. They know who that Jackson guy is. And them people, now I've been at this school here for a while. Them people at Prairie View, we got some people in the math department, they from Prairie View. They just grin and laugh and talk. Now they want to talk, you know what?
They want to talk mess like that?
I would never heard people talk no trash. Till now.
We are not worried about them folks. Them folks got to get through the West before they even think to see us.
They feel like they already gonna take the West, but you know what they got their mind on. They already feel like they got the West. Their thing is, you know, they looking at y'all. They side-eyeing y'all now. Don't let nobody fool you. But now they feel like the West is theirs. They already got the West.
Mr. Ford, you thought that Chennis Berry out
Yeah,
there in South Carolina State.
listen, I still said Chenna gonna win that thing again. I heard some. Listen, I forgot to tell you. Doc and Blue was on last night. Doc did a good show last night with Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Blue says this year's 25 Celebration Bowl would be a rematch of Jackson State and Central. That's what he said last night.
Oh, I want it. Oh, I want it.
That's what he said he want. That he think it's gonna be. Listen, they got to knock Chennis them off that throne, baby. They got to knock Chennis them off that throne.
The preaching mailman.
Yeah, what he said. Win the day, baby. Win the day.
Win the day.
Win the day. But anyway, he said it. He think it's
versus Jackson State.
Yeah,
really?
he said that. Yeah, that's what he said last night. That he thinks that's gonna be the Celebration Bowl. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Ford, before you leave, guess who? Because I don't think we talked about this.
Who that?
Guess who? Southern went and got after talking all that mess. See, this is Southern. Southern be talking mess about folks, but they be watching. So Southern went and got our former quarterback out the portal.
Yep, they sure did. And he's gonna play baseball for him. Oh yeah.
What?
Oh yeah. Cam's a baller too. Cam's a baller.
Cam said, I went to the Celebration Bowl, won a HBCU champion, SWAC champion. I'm finna go help Southern.
Yeah. You know, listen, let me just tell you this. The reason I can't take Southern seriously is, you know what I said about Southern. I can't stomach Mark Fredericks as offense coordinator. I can't accept that. You can't tell me that you can win a championship with him as offense coordinator. I don't believe it. You got to show me that. I don't believe it. He's a running back coach and a recruiting coordinator. He is definitely not an offensive coordinator. If they were to go out and get an offensive coordinator, I think that more of their fans would take them seriously too. Because I've said this to you over and over. Them people down there in Baton Rouge, when it comes to football, they know the game. Just like people in Jackson and in at Grambling and FAMU and North Carolina A&T, their fans are astute when it comes to good football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially Grambling. Do you know that they're boycotting?
Boycotting what?
Grambling deserves better. Under failed leadership, our athletic department has lost its way, mismanagement, low morale, and a lack of vision. It's time for a change. That's the G-Men Nation. You ain't heard it about these?
No.
Let me.
No. You know what? That's probably what's the AD's name is Scott. What's his name?
It says G-Men Nation supports the successful growth and sustainment of the Grambling State University football program and HBCU experience. So they're basically saying that the AD's been in position since 2021, has held 0 fundraising events for athletics.
That's what I'm saying. He's probably gonna be pushed out. You know, we haven't been right since that Kincaid kid left. You remember the Kincaid kid from Dallas that was at Ole Miss? You know what I'm talking about? What's that? Wait a minute. I know somebody in the chat. What's that kid's name that came to Grambling? You know, he was quarterback. Last name was Kincaid. What's his name?
His name starts with a D, I think. I don't know.
Was it Devontae?
I think so.
Listen, we ain't been right since he left.
I mean, listen, this came from left field, though. The reason why I said
there's been some complaints. Yeah, I've heard some things.
Okay, so here's my thing. So you got rid of Hugh. Mr. Ford said you can't be losing in the Bayou Classic now. You can't lose in the Bayou Classic Can't do that. You got to win the Bayou Classic.
Gotta win that. Can't do
but
that.
regardless of what they was talking about, Hugh was bringing in revenue. And in times like these, you was just gonna have to lose another Bayou Classic. At least Hugh was bringing in revenue. He was bringing the money.
You know what? I don't know if it was right how they got rid of the guy before Hugh. What you know, his dad. They all played for Grambling. They were from Monroe. You know what the family name? Fobbs.
Project Fobbs.
Yeah, I don't know if that was right how they pushed him out.
But this is my thing, Devontae Kincaid.
Yes, listen, ever since he left Grambling, we ain't been right.
Okay, but you cannot just, especially in times like these, good Lord, you cannot be rolling out new football coaches every 2 years and thinking, oh, we're just going to use the transfer portal. Like, I think people have an unrealistic view on why things are able to work. Why was TC able to go 7-5 in his first season and then go undefeated in his next season, and he lost and Dion left with all them players? Why was he able to do that?
Because he and Coach O put together a plan. They put together a plan. They executed the plan.
A plan. They've been there since 2019 before Prime.
Yeah, but when Prime left, all them boys left.
Yeah, but they knew he was leaving. That's why you see they knew before we knew, they knew, right? You could just probably sense it in the coaching meetings or whatever. You could sense the change, right? So they knew what was up. And so like TC said, it was just him and Coach O and nobody else. And they
put together a plan.
But they went back to the old school, which
they did. That's right. They went back to the old school. The Mississippi boy.
Yeah.
That's what Jackson State was always about, the Mississippi boy.
Jermaine Jackson is doing the same thing. He
bringing in some outside blood now. So
the only thing I'm concerned about is, good Lord, they're all transfers. It's like 50 plus transfers.
Yes, it is. And they come in with experience. I told you now, I'm keeping up with them. I'm keeping up with Prairie View. Because like I said, it's a new thing for me. I ain't never heard Prairie View talking with this kind of confidence and, doing all this stuff.
G Boom said that Grambling State's coach contract is up this year if he don't win 8 games. What? Grambling winning 8 games? They talking about Mickey Joseph got to win 8 games this year.
Now, I'm going to tell you this about Grambling. I'm not worried about the defense. What's coach's name? He was the head coach down there Southern. He does a great job with that defense. The biggest problem with Grambling is we haven't had a quarterback in some time. It's been a while since we had an outstanding quarterback. If we can get an outstanding quarterback at Grambling this year, I think we can roll. But if we don't get a quarterback, and I got to check and see how's the offensive line. Of course, offense starts with offensive line. You heard anything about our offensive line? You heard anything about them? I haven't either. But I know one thing. We ain't had no good quarterback play since that Kincaid guy. But now they got a guy down there. I saw his film. That guy can play. He's coming from a junior college in Mississippi. You know who I'm talking about?
The one who did what now from Mississippi?
It's a quarterback. He's at Grambling. He came to Grambling from a junior college in Mississippi. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
Yeah, that kid can play. Now the other kid is that kid from Southern, T-Set. He's up there too.
T-Set is a good quarterback. Our defense was just too much for him.
But let me tell you, that other kid, from what I saw on the film, I know film don't show everything. They got a kid. I think he's coming from, is it Hines? I think he's coming from Hines Community College. That kid can play now. His films look good.
They Co-pilot 1911 said, "Buddy that started last year was good. The system was just bad." And I think didn't you have who was that? Who was that?
What's the name? That was
wasn't that the one that wore them suits?
Yeah, Dooley. But anyway, I'm telling you, they got a kid. He's coming from Hines. I don't know his name. I know somebody knows his name. That kid might be the starting quarterback. He's coming from Hines Community College. That kid look good on film. Man.
I just like to say, good Lord, everybody can't be blessed like Jackson State, Mr. Ford.
Yeah, y'all king of the hill right now. That's why I'm telling you, what's the name? Them side-eyeing y'all though. Them people out there at Prairie View.
They need to win the West first before they even think
listen, that's a foregone conclusion listening to them. They already don't want it. They feel like they gonna win that West.
Ain't played it down and they think they gonna steamroll.
They think they gonna steamroll that West now. What they talking about is looking at y'all side-eye. You know, that's what they doing. They looking at
that must be why they keep barking about Jackson State. We ain't worried. You know, like the little dog.
You know what? Let me tell you something. Mr. Mona, you know the game I wish we could all show up at?
Which one?
Southern's homecoming against Prairie View. Do you know what that's going to be? Cats and dogs.
Oh, Lord.
Because, you know, your boy Lionel say every time they come to Baton Rouge lately, they whoops ass. He said when they come to Baton Rouge, they whoops ass.
But Mr. Ford, we're building a dynasty over here at Big D.
Oh, y'all are. Yes, y'all are. Them, you know what I call it? The Mississippi boys. The Mississippi boys.
Our coaches, when they leave the program, they're elevating. Either they go into the NFL or they're going FBS, but the train keeps on rolling. I love the fact that TC just elevates folks that have already been in the system, right?
Oh, yeah.
They'll elevate the young men and give them that coaching position.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited. Everybody wants to be ASU now. I mean, even when before prime, during prime, and after prime, Jackson State is still everybody's championship.
That's right, baby.
Regardless if they actually make it anywhere else, Jackson State is their championship, and they're gonna play it every week that we play. Somebody's gonna play like it's a championship.
That's right, baby. I saw W.C. Gordon in them, baby. I saw back in the day.
Mr. Ford said, "Now that you had to eat them words, didn't you, Mr. Ford?"
Yeah, baby.
You
I didn't think it would come along that fast.
That was offensive. I was offended.
Yeah, man. When they were talking about, listen, I remember W.C. Gordon like it was yesterday. I didn't never see Bob Hill's team. I always heard about them. You know, but I saw W.C. Gordon's program. I saw him on television. Man, yeah, I remember him. But they said PV beat that ass the last time they made. Homecoming was 48-22.
21.
Yeah, that's what Lionel claimed that when they come to Baton Rouge, they whoops ass.
I cannot believe that Southern scheduled Prairie View for their homecoming. That's like,
I think that's great. No, Mr. Mona, I think that's great. I love those kind of homecomings. Listen, the one I hate is when they bring in that damn Lincoln and
I would have scheduled UAPB for my homecoming. I want to win my.
No, Lord, I like them big time. Listen, that's what you call a big time homecoming. You bringing in. You got Southern with all that tradition and history and all of that, and you bringing in the new big dog Prairie View to Baton Rouge.
Mr. Ford, we schedule Alabama State because you know they beat
that's
us.
Big too. That's big. That's what I like.
Baby.
Listen, fam, you got Alcorn. Fam, you got Alcorn for homecoming. I like that.
Baby, we got to drag them folks up and down. We got to drag them up and down the field. Now, I will say.
Now, let me ask you this. What them Braves going to do? Is them Braves going to do anything? Them big, bad Braves, they going to do anything?
I ain't seen it. Now, you said.
What my man that would be hollering about them big, bad Braves? You know what I'm talking about. What do you think? I heard from him and I don't know when. What's his name?
G.
G, where G at?
He been quiet.
Yeah, G about like Mr. What's his name? He can't take an ass whooping. He like what the man name down at FAMU that he know everything and got an apology for everything fam do, but he can't take no ass whooping. What his name? You know, I thought he was financing your show. What his name is? Mr. Campbell. Mr. Campbell. G about like Mr. Campbell.
You said you thought he was financing my show.
Thought he financing your show or something.
The wigs and stuff.
Yeah, everything. You know, he used to come in
like,
talking and going on and showing out.
Oh Lord. Well, look like he got a new customer for them wigs, don't it?
Yeah, but listen, I ain't heard from G. I don't know. Where is G at? Anybody heard from G? G's supposed to be up there talking about them big bad Braves.
Whitley said the weave dealer.
Yeah.
Well, he definitely got a new customer, and he need to go ahead and get her right immediately. Okay, you cannot be walking around with your weave, with your wig. Like that. Lord,
that's why Mr. Calvin G. Nim, they get an ass whipping that you can't hear from them no more. Ooh. Now G can get to Holly. Boy, you know when G get to Holly.
Ooh, he can send some wigs to that new president. ASAP do he was send that stuff, send it. What he need to send that overnight delivery.
Yeah.
Send her a new front.
That's what I'm talking about. But what you think Alcorn gonna do?
So they want to know. Alcorn ain't hitting on nothing. They listen.
That's like, how many games they won last year? How many games they won in
the last year? I think they won 6 or 7 games. They
did.
Hey, Mr. Ford. They want to know, who do you think coming out the MEAC? Mr. Ford thinks South Carolina State.
South Carolina State, you know, I'm with Chennis Berry. He's
not dethroning Chennis Berry.
Yeah, they got to beat Chennis Berry now. They got to beat it. There you go. Them Bulldogs, baby. They call it Orangeburg Bulldogs. Them Bulldogs. Them Bulldogs, boy. Somebody got to beat them off that throne. But now, you know, everybody's high on Michael Vick now because everybody like what's going on in Norfolk.
I've been seeing his players. He's been bringing in some decent players.
He rated, they say he took 5 players off of Hampton's team. Did you hear that? They said he took 5 players from Hampton.
His wife going up there for an alumni meeting, and he over there looking at their roster.
5 players from Hampton, I'm telling you now. And they ain't talking about no bench riders. I think he taking starters from them.
Ooh, everybody want to go play for the. But you know what, Michael Vick, his demeanor, he's not like all like loud. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't have. But I don't think the MEAC is doing enough to showboat and showcase these coaches.
Listen, you going to the MEAC media day? Because they media day usually be pretty good.
It's in Virginia.
You going?
I don't know.
You need to go. You right there. Wait a minute. Because you in Charlotte, you could go right up to Virginia.
I want to go to the SWAC one.
No, you got to go to both of them. You need to go to both of them.
She ain't slick over there at the alumni meeting, peeking in on seeing them players and getting all.
They said Vic took 5 players from Hampton. I heard they took 5 players from Hampton.
Dang.
Listen, you need to go to the what I want you to do. Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to cuss out Jay Walker when you get there too.
Mr.
Yeah, because you know Jay get on my nerve.
Why do Mr. Walker get on your nerves?
Because he gets in line and trying to act like the MEAC so much better than SWAC and all of that. You know, he'll get to showing out now. You don't know Jay Walker. He'll get to talking all that old trash.
He does not like me. I'll be all the folks that are supposed to be covering the MEAC won't even be at MEAC's media day.
I want you to cuss him out and then slap him in the face. No, I don't mean that though. But anyway, Jay get on my nerve.
That's the quarterback king from Howard.
Yes, Lord, don't even wake him up. Listen, I remember that year he told that lie about it was when FAMU played Howard at the Celebration Bowl, and he was talking about what Howard's gonna do and all that. They didn't bring 100 fans. They didn't bring out 100 fans.
They didn't bring out 100 fans.
And the band didn't have 40 pieces. And they got Howard got about 10,000 students and a $900 million endowment.
They just graduated 3,100 plus students, and they
and
only got
you couldn't get me 200 pieces. They could have got a 200 pieces out there graduating class.
How many pieces did the band bring?
Less than 40.
Oh God, that's They don't even have. Are you sure it wasn't more than 40? I think you exaggerating.
I'll tell you what. Go back and look at the film. Go back and look at that was 2023 Celebration Bowl, and look at count the number of people in that band. I bet you won't get 50.
Mr. Johnny Thornton said North Carolina Central will introduce the mailman to high-speed internet on November 15, 2025 in Durham, North Carolina. I know
that'll probably, you know what? That will probably be for the MEAC. That'll probably determine who goes back to that Celebration Bowl. That game right there. Hopefully that game's gonna be televised.
I know where it was last year. I'm over here taking Braxton because they have those little like trunk or treats.
Yeah.
Where they give you a handful of candy and you gotta stand in line with the little kids. And I'm not finna do that. I'm finna take Braxton to this neighborhood over here. If they got Halloween like stuff in it, I'm gonna drive right on up, let them get out and say trick or treat. I wanted to watch the game. That was
Blue said last night the question mark for South Carolina State is not their offense, but it's the defense. He's saying that they lost too much on their defense.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what he said on Doc's show last night. He said everybody thinks that it's the offense because that Phoenix kid left. But he said that's not going to be the problem.
Stubberfield.
Yeah, he's high on Stubberfield. But he's saying that the defense is going to be the question mark for South Carolina State.
I need for Jackson State and North Carolina Central to meet in the celebration.
That's what he's saying. He said they're
going to meet.
Know why?
Because I know that TC going to drag them folks from one end of the field to the other. It's going to be worse than what it was for South Carolina State. Worse.
No, you think they're going to beat them bad as they beat South Carolina State?
Worse. It's going to be worse.
Because listen, you talking about belt the ass. Oh, they put belt the ass on South Carolina State. I'm sitting with the South Carolina State people. Me and a friend, we sit with them.
You sit with the South Carolina State folks.
Yeah. Listen, all they was telling us was we have made the adjustment. They said they knew things was off, okay? And so they said, listen, they're going to go in at halftime, make the adjustment. And when Jackson State came back and got the whooping on that ass in the second half, it went from adjustments to a funeral. Boy, they got to beat on that ass that second half. Ooh, boy.
Not a funeral.
It was a funeral over there. Because we sit on the left-hand side of South Carolina State's band. We were sitting with the South Carolina State people. And they was, you know, the first half, because Jackson jumped on them so quick. And then they was looking, they was saying, no, we got to make them adjustments. When halftime came, that's all they said, we're going to make them adjustments. Man, Jackson came back out there and took that belt off again, boy.
I told you that this is our field.
Ooh, boy.
Get off the field.
That belt off again.
Get off the field.
Ooh, boy.
Oh, yeah, but Mr. Thornton said South Carolina State squeaked by North Carolina Central last year.
Yeah, they did. I saw the game.
That was in South Carolina.
It was. It was in South
Carolina. In Durham. They're not getting ready to let it go out like that.
Well, that's what Blue said. Blue said that he said last night it's gonna be Central. It's gonna be them Eagles, baby. Them Eagles coming back to Atlanta. But you know the Eagles got to come to You know, they're
Atlanta,
opening up with Southern. They got Southern here
the
in the
MEAC
SWAC.
SWAC challenge.
Yeah,
MEAC SWAC
we're
challenge.
going to see something
Yes.
with them, baby.
We're gonna see what Southern hitting on, and we're gonna see what
Yeah, baby. Yeah, that's right. We're going to see what Southern hitting on.
They opened up with the Orange Blossom Classic last year because I went to that in Miami.
Yeah.
Now, and you know what? I'll say this. If Alabama State hadn't lost all of their quarterbacks in one damn sitting, I think that game could have turned out differently.
Yeah, I want that boy, not that boy, but I want Bobby. I want him to have a great year.
Yes,
I want
him to have a great year as well, but I also want for you know, you're gonna have to recruit some quarterback room. Oh, do you know who is coming? I forgot to tell you about that. See, because keep on worrying about our quarterback room, right?
Uh-huh.
But they missed that we had a quarterback that was that had committed already. His name is Jared Lockhart. You remember him?
Yeah. Wait a
He's
minute.
from Charlotte. Let me show you.
He's at Jackson now?
He'll be there. He committed.
Yeah, I heard. Now he went where did he go originally?
No, he's out of high school.
Oh yeah, I saw some film on him.
Look at this.
I saw some film. He looked good. I saw him.
Look at that footwork, Mr. Ford.
Huh?
Look at that footwork, Mr. Ford.
Yeah, I saw some film on him.
Yes, he looks good. Ooh, boy.
Oh
yeah. Y'all got
what's his size?
I want to say.
He's 6 what?
I want to say. Let me get it. He's look. All I'm gonna say is this: folks was over here like, oh, let me see. He's 6'4", 185.
Oh yeah, that's good size.
Class of 2025.
Oh yeah, I had heard about him.
Yeah, it's like that. 6'4", 185.
Oh yeah,
NFL size.
Yeah, he's gonna be tough.
He went to Myers Park High School.
Which one?
Myers Park.
Okay.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
We're because folks was like, oh look, oh my God, you lost Cam McCoy. Oh my God, you lost Zion McDonald. 6'4", 185 out of high school. He might.
Oh yeah. He's gonna be a player.
A little bit more taller. He might be 6'5", 6'6", 6'5".
Oh yeah. He's gonna be all right. He's gonna be all right. Like I said, Jackson State is all about the Mississippi boy. Because that's what TC them selling, baby. They want the Mississippi boys from the small towns. And then if you leave Mississippi, they tell you, come on back and play with the Mississippi boy. They don't listen, baby. They don't went back to the 80s.
Ooh, we got
the 80s, baby.
Tennessee State offensive lineman. Ooh, Mr. Ford, I did see that South Carolina State did go ahead and get some of those athletes from that college that shut down.
Yeah, I saw that too. When the Limestone, was it Limestone?
Yes, I seen them get some big old offensive linemen out of there.
Too. Yeah, I did too.
We still have Ethan and Parker in that room too.
Yeah, I saw that too. Listen, girl. Listen, before I got to go to bed. It's 12 o'clock, baby.
All right. Good night, Mr. Ford. Everybody tell Ford good night.
Hey, good night, everybody. Listen, Miss Whitley, Miss Whitley, y'all have a good night. Mr. Mona, when you coming back?
Thursday, unless something happens between now and Tuesday.
Okay.
Thursday night.
Okay. And Dr. Kanisha wasn't on here tonight. Miss Howard University.
I think.
Good night, Brandy.
Yes, she is.
She is. Dr. Kanisha, I heard you say nothing. What about them? Dr. Kanisha, what y'all gonna do? And now we are down here hollering about South Carolina State and North Carolina Central. What about Howard? What y'all gonna do? But how we gonna do?
She said they're gonna get an offensive coordinator. I don't know.
But did they get it? Because y'all let your homeboy, you let him go to A&T. That's your homeboy, McGee, Greg McGee.
She said she be working.
She be well. Okay, well, I'm trying to figure. Now listen, y'all gonna win 1, 2, or 3 games at Howard this year. What y'all gonna win?
I mean, dang, I forgot they only got 6 teams.
Yeah, what y'all gonna win now? They gonna win 5?
Yes. Whitley said, Mr. Ford, you know Dr. Kanisha be busy knocking folks out.
I know that's what I'm saying. Now what Howard gonna do?
She said they're gonna
we hollering about Central, we hollering about Norfolk, we hollering about South Carolina State. What is Howard University? The real HU. What y'all gonna do?
Dr. Kanisha said that their offensive coordinator went to Norfolk.
What?
Yes. She said how we're gonna keep winning in basketball, I guess.
Yeah, they got a basketball program. Now, Dr. Kanisha, one thing I want y'all to do now. I'm sick of Burr Hall. I need y'all to build at least a 7,000 to 8,000 seat arena. Okay, I'm sick of Burr Hall. I need a new gymnasium on the beautiful campus of Howard University. Okay. All right. Listen, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Y'all have a good night.
Mr. Ford be cutting up. Norfolk, we got to keep our eye on Norfolk. They be over here just pillaging folks. North Carolina A&T and Norfolk will snatch up your coaches. Snatch your coaches right on up. Usually our coaches, they don't do lateral moves. They usually either they go into the NFL or the FBS. We don't have 3 games this year, home games this year, and Mr. Dr. Kanisha, why is Mr. Ford calling you out like that? Mr. Ford is head of operations of each program. He's going to tell somebody what they do and don't need. Well, y'all, it's been real. It was a great night. I had fun. I hope you did as well. I missed a couple of things, but hey, we'll catch those on Thursday. Tori Woodbury. Okay. All right. Mr. Ford just cleared it out, didn't he? Cascade Road out. And you heard Mr. Ford. Don't be playing him close now. Asking him where he went to school, what year. Mr. Ford went to Clark Atlanta and he went to Grambling now. And he's a historian. You can always add to the conversation. But Lord, don't be calling him out because Mr. Ford damn near had a Max moment. I'm going to let him know, Dr. Kanisha, you said he can be the head of operations. No, I'm not having no SWAC Saturday on a Tuesday, y'all. It's been real. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I had fun. I hope you did too. And I will see you guys next Thursday unless something happens on Tuesday. I want to say Wednesday, we should be over at Orange's page because he usually covers, he has a live chat for the baseball. So we'll be watching that. Right. Commissioner of the For A Million. My thing died. All right, y'all. Good night. Yeah, so with that being said, good night, y'all. Y'all have a good night. I need to get a picture of the Tigers eating a panther too. Yes, make sure Orangey, that'll be Wednesday. I'm sure he's gonna cover the Jackson State game. I don't know about the other games. Maybe Bethune. I don't know. But he has a live chat and it's definitely a fun experience. Y'all have a good night.
I've had some day and some sleepless nights. But when I look around and I think things over, all of my good days outweigh my bad days. I follow the clouds hang low. I can hardly see the road. I ask the question, Lord. Lord, why so much pain? But He knows what's best for me. Although my weary eyes, they can't see, so I'll just say